come down as fast as they had hoped?
Well, John, to go along with what you were saying earlier, so yes, people are making more purchases, but they're doing so with more information, and that's with the rise of AI. So another thing that Visa and MasterCard found was that people and consumers were using AI to find the best price for those items they needed to buy for their friends and family.
You know what? That may not be good news for Google if people are more so looking and depending on AI versus looking things up on Google. Very good insights, Christina.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Google has AI too.
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas. Thank you for that report. It was a great one. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned, folks. First Edition will be right back.
More from the Newsmax newsroom straight ahead.
Hi, I'm Ed Henry. I've worked at a lot of news networks, but I love Newsmax the most because we really are real news for real people. It's not just a slogan. We actually believe in the power of the people.
Hi, folks. We're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Hey parents and grandparents, Christmas is a special time of year, but do your kids know how the birth of Jesus and his spirit of giving inspired so many of today's Christmas traditions, and how America's founders made sure we'd always be free to celebrate that holy day openly and joyfully? That's why we put together the Kids Guide to Christmas in America. Get it as part of our free Christmas gift bundle by scanning the QR code on your screen or going to freechristmasguide.com. The Kids Guide to Christmas in America is another entertaining installment of the Kids Guide, a popular series that ensures your kids are learning the truth about America and our exceptional history without bias. Your free gift bundle will also include instant access to the Kids Guide online, as well as the Kids Guide to the Bible, the birth of Jesus, so your kids can learn why Jesus is the reason for the season, all for free. Use the QR code on your screen to get your free Christmas gift bundle or visit freechristmasguide.com.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now and get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. This book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And if you call right now, as a bonus, we'll throw in a free annuity rate report. We've researched over 1,200 annuities summarizing the rates and benefits for you. So don't miss out on this opportunity because supplies are limited. Call now and find out how you can get up to 33% more income in your retirement, and you'll receive Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report as an added bonus. Both books are yours free just for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-518-5694. That's 800-518-5694. Again, 800-518-5694.
Yeah, people heading to church tonight could be praying to win the Powerball jackpot, now sitting at $1.7 billion.
But Krisha, you've already hit the jackpot. We want to again congratulate.
You're watching theDove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco and the Bay Area. Seen on KURK3 and these Dove TV affiliates. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and Merry Christmas Eve. Look at this. We found a Shady Cove Santa here. This is what it looks like
Kind of
at the north end of the valley here.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, good morning to you. Merry Christmas Eve. Trust that you are enjoying some time to relax and A big travel day. I think yesterday was a huge travel day. I never seen so much traffic. I'm beginning to I said it the other day. I said, where do all these people come from? They live here?
Well, it must have been, everybody was on the road yesterday because on the way in this morning, it was bare. There's nobody out this morning.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Merry Christmas Eve. Weather, well, pretty stormy. And the forecast is for storm. We'll talk about that. A lot going on in the news. There always is. And so, ho, 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 what do you got?
Ho, 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 it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're all getting ready. Tomorrow's the big day.
Yeah.
We have last-minute preparations. I'm sure that there are stores open to go get the things that you haven't gotten yet and
This would
that you
be the
need.
day that Leon would go to the store and buy a mannequin for his wife. Because that's all was left.
Yeah. You know, the worst I ever did was on my way home. I knew exactly what I was going to get. I knew what store I was going to get it in. And I was working. You know, it was busy, you know, kind of like we are now. And I'm on my way home, and I go into that mall store. It's one of the big box stores on the mall, and I go in there, and as I'm going in, the guy looks at me and goes, "You got 15 minutes."
Oh, geez.
And it was like, it wasn't Merry Christmas, I hope you get your present. You got 15 minutes.
Wow.
It was like the Grinch. But anyway, so, but I got it. I knew exactly what I wanted. I went and got it, and I was out of there.
Men don't shop.
Yeah, right.
Men hunt.
Yeah.
They shoot it, bag it, and get out.
Exactly. That's exactly
Women
what
shop.
I did.
Men hunt.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So happy Christmas Eve to you. It's also a sweetened dairy-based beverage which is traditionally made with milk and cream, sugar, whipped eggs, and spices. It's National Eggnog Day. Ooh. There you go. Enjoy it. It's a little bit cholesterol rich. It's one of those things that, you know, we only drink it at this time of year for a reason. It is good, but oh baby, it'll do it to you.
Well, you know, it's been modified through the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we were raised out in the country, and we were next to this dairy called Inderkum's Dairy, and it was well known up and down where we lived. And they made their own version of eggnog.
Okay.
And it was fantastic.
Oh, really? Okay.
And you used to get those stainless steel containers that are about this big that would hold maybe a gallon of it.
Okay.
And my dad would always order up one of those. But he was of the vintage where you put something else in it.
I know. I was going to say, today we're celebrating virgin eggnog.
Virgin eggnog. Now I know why my parents were so happy in the evening.
Well, that's funny. Okay, well, enjoy your eggnog. In fact, why not have an eggnog and enjoy one of your favorite Christmas movies? And when it comes to favorite Christmas movies, I read an interesting article this morning in Fox, and the guy was talking about he finally watched It's a Wonderful Life for the very first time.
Oh, really?
He said, my mom sat down with me, and she said, you know, this isn't a Christmas movie. And he said he watched it all the way through, and he says, this is the best Christmas movie I've ever seen. The story of George Bailey is about gratitude for God's blessings and learning to trust Him, especially when life doesn't go the way that you think it should.
Yeah.
It's a great theme. And did you know that before James Stewart was cast as George Bailey, Cary Grant was considered for the...
Oh, really?
Can you imagine that? Judy, 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 it's a wonderful life.
Oh, yeah. No, Jimmy Stewart was better.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we see now. You know, you can't, I mean, he's running down the street there. Now, despite its current status as a classic, the film was a box office failure. Yeah. When it was released, it did not earn enough to cover the bills. It lost money. And due to a clerical error in 1974, It's a Wonderful Life entered the public domain. Oh. That allowed TV stations to start playing it for free. And it became a favorite of the 1980s. And we all watched it over and over again. So you have your eggnog, watch It's a Wonderful Life, and remember, that's not Cary Grant. That's Jimmy Stewart.
Okay, so the other night, Peggy and I sat down, and I said, "Honey, how long has it been since we watched White Christmas?" And I can't even remember.
Okay, yeah.
And this was the black and white version that was turned to color.
Oh, okay, yes.
Where they enhanced it.
Yes. Ted Turner, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we watched it. The whole thing.
Did you really? How was it? Yeah.
Well, it was okay. I mean, I think what was so surprising about it is it's amazing how Hollywood would take their industry and turn it into a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was all about this show at this resort.
And they didn't have snow, right?
They didn't have snow.
Right.
And so how they used a movie set to make a movie. The movie industry to make a movie.
Right, yeah.
They did a lot of that. But the costumes and the dance was, oh, my stars.
Oh, that whole production, yeah.
Most of the people were in their 30s, but Bing Crosby was 51 when he did that movie.
Yeah, and he was playing the next GI, right? Mm-hmm. Probably the oldest
and
private
then the general.
in the trenches. Right, I remember him.
Yeah, so anyway, gosh, so I've had my White Christmas fix for the next decade, you know. But maybe The Wonderful Life, we should watch it.
Yes, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a wonderful movie. And then there's a spin-off of that called The Family Man. It is fantastic. I watch it every year, starring Nicolas Cage and Tia Leone. The big question of the season is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Die Hard a Christmas movie.
So yeah, it's a Christmas staple.
Well, that's
stuff blows up, shooting going on. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, this is the big debate of the holiday season: is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. It's not.
Are they trying to? Well, anyway.
No.
The answer's no.
It's not. Okay. That's all I got for you. Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, listen, he's a diehard. He does the weather here.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, near 49 in McMinnville, with an east wind gusting up to 39 miles per hour. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime highs in the low 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 54 in Eugene, with a southwest wind gusting up into the upper 30s. Rain with gusty winds across central Oregon, then clearing to mostly sunny with highs near 53 in Prineville and low 50s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rain likely with a high in the mid-50s. Rain with gusty winds along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 50 in Brookings, and near 55 in Crescent City, California, with a south wind gusting up to 55 miles per hour. In southern Oregon, rainy and breezy with wind advisories in the Rogue Valley and the Klamath Basin, with daytime highs near 49 in Grants Pass, 56 in Medford, 52 in Ashland, and near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, rainy and breezy in Wairika with a high near 51, rain with wind advisories and flood watches for Redding with a high near 50, and Chico and Sacramento with highs in the mid-50s. Rain with a flood watch, patchy fog, wind advisories, and late afternoon thunderstorms across the Bay Area today, with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, 60 in San Francisco, and near 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Christmas Eve weather from Grange Co-op.
Here's a picture of our valley. A little bit of fog here and there, but the storm's coming in, and they're saying gusty winds with all this stuff.
I'll tell you what, there's so much weather coming in, I could hardly get the weather report in 90 seconds.
Yeah.
I had to speak faster than I think I've ever spoken in a weather report.
Well, good.
I didn't know if I could.
You needed to do that.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you to listeners all over the area. This one's from Meridian, Idaho. How much they enjoy the morning show. I meant to bring one into you yesterday, but let me just paraphrase it, and I don't think I'm too far off.
Okay.
This lady sends us a nice little letter, Christmas card, and talking in there about how much she enjoys the Dove's programming in total, and how much she enjoys you and I in the morning show and all this and that. And she says, my dog and I watch you and Jerry every morning.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And then she goes on to say,
oh, no.
If I oversleep, my dog wakes me up.
I need that dog.
To go watch the morning show.
Yeah.
So, we got two ladies and a dog watching now.
And my mom.
And your mom, three. So we got three ladies and a dog.
Yes.
Boy, our ratings are just taking off, weren't they?
I love it.
They're right up there.
Okay. Well, it is the season of giving, and here we have some great inspiration as Pastor Billy Graham explains the best possible gift one can receive this Christmas.
The Bible teaches that the human race is morally sick. The disease has affected every phase of man's life and society. The Bible calls this disease sin. The Bible teaches that we are sinners and that the only cure for sin is the blood of Christ that was shed on that cross. At this Christmas season, many churches will be celebrating communion. And when we put the wine and the grape juice to our lips, it is a symbol of that blood that was shed. One of the most important aspects of the worship of ancient Judaism was the shedding of blood to make atonement for sin. The word blood symbolized in the Old and the New Testament a life that has been given. Christ became the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world for the sins of mankind. The cross and the resurrection stand as man's only hope. It was on Good Friday and Easter that God did for man what man could not do for himself. From these two momentous events, God is saying to sinful man, I love you. But he is also saying, I can forgive you. This is the good news of Christmas. But you must also do something. You must humble yourself and admit your sin and your moral failure, and then by faith turn to him as Lord and Savior. You must say as the publican did, God, be merciful to me, a sinner.
Isn't that beautiful? And that was Johnny Cash sitting there.
Yes, I saw Johnny Cash.
Yeah, that's good stuff all the way around. All right, good morning to you. Merry Christmas Eve. And drive carefully out there. We have a storm over the Pacific Northwest. All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories. And looks like President Trump lost one yesterday.
Yes,
the Supreme Court said no and ruled against him about sending, federalizing the National Guard in Chicago. And he said no, they couldn't do it. The vote was 63, and this is a interesting setback for him. But you know what will happen here?
What?
We'll see if Chicago's crime rate goes down.
Oh, yeah.
And it probably will speak for itself.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Yep.
The other one is that the president yesterday, I did not know this, so you learn something every day.
Okay.
President Trump's administration has rolled back the Biden-era policy that allowed the Department of Veterans Affairs to provide limited abortion counseling and abortion services through the VA healthcare, including in the cases of rape and incest, according to the Internal Agency communication. Apparently, this concluded that the VA does not have legal authority under the existing federal law to provide abortion services to veterans or their dependents.
Wow.
That's a big turnover.
That is a big one.
Yeah, that's a big turnover. So we'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, I mentioned this briefly yesterday, but it was confirmed that former U.S. Attorney General Ed Meese III, now you got to remember, he was Ronald Reagan's right-hand man.
Yes, he was.
I met him twice.
Oh.
I met him when I went to the White House for the bicentennial celebration of the Constitution. And then I met him when he and at the time Governor Reagan were kind of hanging out together.
Okay.
And interesting guy. But anyway, he's a legal genius. He's 93 years old now, but he has left the Heritage Foundation and has joined the organization called the Advancing American Freedom, which is now being backed by former President Mike Pence. So he has left the Heritage Foundation and gone over here. Now, what's interesting about this is it looks like the AAF, which is the Advancing American Freedom Organization, is rapidly taking the place of the Heritage Foundation because they did not speak out against anti-Semitic statements. And the president there should have been booted, and he didn't. Or he wasn't, and so I am really saddened to see this. But the Heritage Foundation is going down in flames.
Yeah.
And this was a prestigious conservative think tank. I think what may come out of this is whether or not former Vice President Mike Pence will run for president in 2028, thinking that he has the backing of this organization. But can this organization, if it's already now like 15 people out of the Heritage Foundation. Now it's got Ed Meese, which is a very notable guy. Can they afford to endorse anybody?
I don't know.
and still have the credibility as being a conservative think tank?
I don't know. So you said there's 15 and then now 16 with Ed Meese?
Yeah.
So Pence
No,
will-
15 was including Ed Meese.
Wait, oh, so
And
okay.
there's others. I mean, there's others.
I was going to say, so Pence will get at least 15 votes.
Well,
But that may be all.
but I think what's happening is they're rapidly creating another organization to replace the Heritage Foundation.
Yeah.
Now, let me just say this about the Heritage. I don't know why the president of the Heritage Foundation didn't step up and denounce all of this and save the organization. The fact that he didn't, and the board of directors didn't force him to do that and force him out, has destroyed the organization. Now, on the heels of that is the Tucker Carlson controversy.
Yes.
And Tucker Carlson yesterday received from Rabbi Mencken, the Jewish civil rights group Stop Anti-Semitism, named Tucker Carlson its 2025 Anti-Semite of the Year.
Okay. Well, these two stories are directly tied. And, you know, we all saw Tucker Carlson when he was on Fox. But a lot of people have kind of lost touch with Tucker since he left, because he's a podcaster right now, so you have to know where to go and get him. So we know he made some anti-Semitic remarks, and a lot of people haven't heard them, but we've heard about them. Could you paraphrase and tell us, what did Tucker Carlson say that got him the anti-Semite of the year?
It's not what he said, it's what he didn't do.
Oh.
He interviewed, what's his name? The real flaming liberal guy that's anti-Semitic. I'll think of his name here in a minute.
Okay.
And he interviewed him and didn't question him, didn't stop him.
Didn't push, okay.
And didn't push back.
Okay.
And since then, he's been given the criticism of being anti-Semitic himself. And guess what?
Right.
He didn't defend himself. He's let the criticism sit out there.
Oh, really?
So all I think Carlson has to do is go on a show and say, I'm not an anti-Semite.
Right, I support Israel.
But he hasn't done it.
I wonder why.
Well, then he gets the insignia of being the anti-Semite of the year from the Stop Anti-Semitism group. Now, here is Rabbi Mencken. Now, he was on Salcido's show on Newsmax.
Okay.
I had, Chris Salcido on the show. Anyway, here's what he had to say.
It's not just, by the way, Tucker Carlson platforming Nick Fuentes and other anti-Semitic people for softball interviews. It's things that he himself has now said, accusing Israel of committing genocide and accusing hummus eaters of plotting to kill Jesus. There's obviously what going on in Tucker Carlson's own repertoire that is simply unacceptable. And the reason why it's a defining moment is because if you look at the left, anti-Semitism took over. It's now permeated the Democratic Party simply because they never had a moment where they said, stop, we're going to consider this before it's too late. Now you have conservatives dividing themselves up on each side of this question. Do we think that Tucker Carlson is fine and he's helpful and he's good for the conservative movement? Or do we recognize the anti-Semitic danger that he presents?
Okay, so he hasn't denied any of the criticism.
Yeah.
He hasn't defended himself.
Right.
The interview that got him in trouble was Nick Fuentes, and who was what is he? He's a white nationalist crazy guy, I guess is the best way to say it.
Why did he even interview him?
And he interviewed him, and then I think this is an attempt to find out what a lot of us want to talk to the other guys and find out what they think, but not at the cost of you defending what you believe.
Right.
So Carlson never came out and defended himself of not being an anti-Semite. Okay, and I think what I'm sensing here is that he has bought into the replacement theology.
I was going to ask you about that.
It sounds like to me, and I think that poor Erica Kirk is going to be forced here in a minute to make a decision about him.
Oh, about Tucker?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because Tucker, spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
Yeah.
He spoke last weekend at the Turning Point big fest that they had, and he and Vince Shapiro exchanged swords, so to speak.
Yeah.
But can Erica Kirk allow now what seemingly seems to be an open Semite to be an endorser of Turning Point. She's in a tough spot.
She is in a tough spot, but I think she only has one choice. She only has one choice. She's got to cut Carl.
Well, why he's allowed this to happen himself, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that he's bought into the replacement theology.
Yeah, because he is a believer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, and he gave his testimony there during the Kirk Memorial, and everybody was seemingly genuine. Well, and it was genuine, and it was impressive. But why is he anti-Semitic? And why is he, you know, they're Palestinian killers and they're Jesus killers. Well, that's the replacement theology thinking.
How pervasive is that through
It's more than you think.
Really?
It's more than you want to know.
Yes, yeah.
I get it all the time. I get a lot of letters on it all the time. But I'm thinking, okay, so what do you do with this, you know? I don't know. It's... I will not argue it. Because people don't want to hear it.
Right, yeah.
So when you dig into what you believe, it's like, I don't want to hear them, they don't want to hear me. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's have a Krispy Kreme and get out of here.
Let's do a Games Room festive trivia. We got this trivia Christmas game here, and we have a number of questions here. The first one is, and being it's Eggnog Day, which spices are traditionally used to flavor a glass of eggnog? Star anise, is that anise? Yeah, star anise and turmeric, saffron and allspice, cinnamon and nutmeg, or cloves and ginger?
Nutmeg.
Cinnamon and nutmeg. Ding, 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 ding. That was the easy one. We'll get harder on the next break.
Okay.
Out here, Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate what truly matters: love, community, and the magic of being together. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Grange Co-op.
Early in his football career,
everything that I've known just felt like it was all crumbling.
he got some life-changing advice.
He just basically asked me, like, how's your faith? Are you in the Word? Are you going up and getting to church? And it really kind of opened my eyes, because I was like, no, I'm not.
Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson.
Why would I be upset of how I played when knowing that, like, there's such a bigger purpose?
Thursday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Welcome back on a very stormy Christmas Eve. Over the top of us, heavy rain, gusty winds. It's coming in, folks. Drive carefully out there this morning. It's raining pretty hard out there. Well, the Pacific Northwest got a little bit of a maybe blessing.
Maybe?
Yeah. The growers here in the Pacific Northwest, really got hurt, as well as a lot of the growers in the Midwest over the tariff issue and fight with China.
Yeah.
And so the Trump administration is issuing roughly $12 billion in farmer bailouts. And across the Pacific Northwest, which is a lot of farmers, Out of the 12, they could see $1 billion to special crop growers that produce fruits and vegetables and nuts here in the Pacific Northwest, such as pears, apples, cherries, hops, and potatoes. The rest of it's primarily going to go to the Midwest for the soybean farmers that will hit the hardest.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will say this, it's a little something, but most farmers say, I would rather go to market than have a Band-Aid fix. So the president, in creating one opportunity, has created another mess, another problem.
Okay.
And I think we need to understand that food doesn't come from Safeway or Albertsons.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see where this goes. $1 billion to our region. Okay, I don't know how that's divvied up. I don't know how they do that. You probably have. You fill out, 6 inches of forms.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that money's coming your way. All right, let's take a quick look at the satellite image. Here's what's happening on this Christmas Eve. And this store, look how heavy this is. This thing is really hitting us hard.
Yep, and it's on us right now. We hear it, and we're going to see highs in the low 50s for the next couple days. And it's going to rain through Friday before we see some clearing into the weekend and into early next week. But maybe a return again midweek or later in the week next week. So as Leon would say, maybe the storm door is opening.
It is. So what's different about this? You notice how it's swirling up.
Yes. Yeah.
Most of the storms of us come at us directly broadside, and then they split at the state line.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit down in the California area, going counterclockwise, bringing it right up over the pass into our backyard.
And it's pretty warm, but I think it's cold enough on the top of the hill. Hopefully, we'll take a look a little bit later. But so economic numbers are out, and the economy is chugging along better than people expected. Maybe another win for the Trump administration, in spite of a setback with SCOTUS. But White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett highlights President Donald Trump's economic record, and he did this on Fox Business's Kudlow.
Larry Kudlow and I, on the show for the last 2 months, have been telling you you're going to get a 4% number.
You did
indeed.
indeed.
And so it's really interesting to see the headlines from the fake news. Everywhere you look, it's like, oh, it's a completely surprising north of 4% number. But the point is that President Trump's policies are working, and they're very visibly working now because we've seen the data. And President Trump, when we were talking about the numbers, he said something like, well, why don't we get 20%? Did you see that he truthed to that today?
I did. That's a little ambitious.
I don't know about 20%, but the point is that we're in a very unprecedented time. The macro thing is that it's just like when we invented the computer, and then, or was it Al Gore that did that? He used the internet. And then all of a sudden in the 90s, we had incredible growth year after year after year with no inflation. And so...
Well, I've talked to some of the best economists out there, and they all agree that with the inflation down to 2%, it went from 9 to 2%, from 9 to 2.5%, and they think it could go down to 2%. This is the makings of a booming economy for 2026.
Absolutely.
I paid $2.99 a gallon the other day, and I'm going, okay, well, all this is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens with it. So. All right, 29 past the hour, and got another trivia.
Are you leaving? Are we going out?
Yeah, what do you got?
All right, we got another Christmas trivia. What is frankincense? A European delicacy, an aromatic resin, or a traditional toy, or a precious metal?
It's a fragrance.
Yeah, aromatic resin. Ding, ding, ding. You are on fire. You are the Christmas trivia king so far.
Give me did I win a pie or something?
Give him a donut or something.
Did I win a pie?
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Apple
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Okay, welcome back. 28 minutes before the hour on this beautiful Christmas Eve. Kind of a stormy one out there. We got some pretty heavy rain over the top of us, and it's kind of a rain-snow mix at some of the higher elevations, at least at the moment. So be careful. And gusty winds are supposed to be kicking up here. So anyway, this is a special CBN News Watch as we go to Bethlehem, and Chris Mitchell is doing a little bit of a Christmas story there.
Right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the special edition of CBN News Watch. I'm George Thomas. We're taking you down to the little town of Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus. Here's Chris Mitchell with more on the significance of this historical biblical town.
Welcome to where Christmas began. Welcome to Bethlehem. I'm standing not far from Manger Square here in the heart of the city and right next to the Church of the Nativity. It's the oldest church in all of Christianity that's been in continuous use about 1,700 years back to the 4th century. While not everyone agrees, there's powerful evidence that this place was the family home of Joseph and the birthplace of Jesus. Here's why. First of all, 100 years after Jesus was born, a church father named Justin Martyr came to Bethlehem, and he asked the local people, where was Jesus born? And this is where they took him. Then 100 years later, another church father named Origen came to Bethlehem, and again he asked, where was Jesus born? And the locals brought him to the same place where they showed Justin Martyr. Fast forward another 100 years when Emperor Constantine sent his mother, Queen Helena, to find the holy sites from the life of Jesus. And again, this is the place where she was led. And that's why they built the church here. First of all, to get into the church, you have to go through here, which is called the Door of Humility, because you have to stoop down to get inside. In the heart of the church is a grotto, and inside the grotto is a spot where some people believe was the manger where Jesus was born. The story of the birth of Jesus lives on 2,000 years later, and the Gospel of Luke tells the timeless story. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world, and everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Bethlehem in Judea, the town of David, where he belonged to the house and the line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. We may not know exactly where X marks the spot, but we do know that somewhere near here, Jesus was born. And after 2,000 years, the good news of great joy is still being told around the world of what happened here in this little town of Bethlehem. Merry Christmas.
I tell you, if you ever go to the Holy Land, you need to go to Bethlehem. It's remarkable. When I went there, you had to go through roadblocks to get in there because it was controlled by the Palestinians.
Okay.
And it's sad because it's a beat up town until you get to the church.
All right.
And you got to remember there was a fairly significant massacre at the church several years ago. I don't know if you remember that. They had a shootout there. But you go in there and it's fabulous. And there's a place in the church, hopefully it's still there, that'll show you the layers of the different floors and the mosaic different floors all the way back to the 14th century.
Really?
So you'll see the various layers of the floors that they kept going over, you know, and the mosaic that everything. And then you go down to where some believe that is the place where Jesus was born, you know.
Wow.
So, and anyway, it's just one of those things, if you're there, you have to do. You just have to do it, so. All right, let's check out the weather. You just have to take in this guy. You just have to take him in.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, near 49 in McMinnville, with an east wind gusting up to 39 miles per hour. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime highs in the low 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 54 in Eugene, with a southwest wind gusting up into the upper 30s. Rain with gusty winds across central Oregon, then clearing to mostly sunny with highs near 53 in Prineville and low 50s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rain likely with a high in the mid-50s. Rain with gusty winds along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 50 in Brookings, and near 55 in Crescent City, California, with a south wind gusting up to 55 miles per hour. In southern Oregon, rainy and breezy with wind advisories in the Rogue Valley and the Klamath Basin, with daytime highs near 49 in Grants Pass, 56 in Medford, 52 in Ashland, and near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, rainy and breezy in Wairika with a high near 51, rain with wind advisories and flood watches for Redding with a high near 50, and Chico and Sacramento with highs in the mid-50s. Rain with a flood watch, patchy fog, wind advisories, and late afternoon thunderstorms across the Bay Area today, with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, 60 in San Francisco, and near 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Christmas Eve weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, what you see there is rain.
Yeah.
And it's coming down hard. It does have a little bit of that hazy, fog thin layer, but that what looks like fog, that's just heavy rain out there. Yeah. So it's coming down pretty hard. Drive carefully out there, okay? All right.
Well, on this day in 1972, Bob Hope took to the stage in Vietnam for the final time, closing a remarkable chapter of holiday history.
For 9 consecutive years, the legendary entertainer traveled to Vietnam to perform Christmas shows for American troops far from home. At a time when the war was deeply unpopular back home, Hope believed the men and women serving overseas still deserved laughter, music, and a reminder that they were not forgotten. These shows became more than entertainment. They were a lifeline filled with jokes, celebrities, and moments of normalcy in the middle of a war zone. Hope often said his favorite audience was the troops, and they returned that love with unwavering devotion. After Vietnam, Bob Hope continued his Christmas tradition for decades, eventually performing holiday shows for U.S. service members in nearly every major conflict of the 20th century. His final Vietnam show marked the end of an era, but the legacy remains. Bob Hope proved that sometimes the greatest gift you can give is simply showing up, especially when it matters most.
What a guy.
Yeah.
A guy. He'd do those shows all over the world.
Yeah, we watch the Christmas specials all the time. I mean, we were kind of brought up on them.
I don't know which show he did, but he brought Raquel Welch out.
Yeah, we saw some clips there.
Okay,
yeah.
and she was kind of like,
Yeah.
And he said, well, guys, I just want to show you what you're fighting for. Hey, remember that?
Yes. That was one of his favorite lines.
And the place just erupted.
Erupted. Yeah. That's great.
All right. Well, from Bob Hope to Rush Limbaugh. Now, this is quite a transition in your mind and in your thinking. But this was Rush Limbaugh's final broadcast of 2020. And I think he, at that time, knew something about the cancer diagnosis. Okay. But he had always play, during the month of December, he would always play his bumper music for his show, the Mannheim Steamroller music.
Yeah, yes.
And he just loved it.
Yes, he did.
He played it.
Yep.
So he is signing off for the last time in 2020 with the Mannheim Steamroller music in the background, but listen to what he does.
We wrap up with Mannheim Steamroller and Silent Night. And my ongoing attempts to thank everybody in the audience, all of you, for everything you mean to me. That last call, that's reminds me how much I love all of you, how much I so appreciate everything you've meant to me and my family. You don't have any idea how. I know so many people think this program has changed their lives for the better. You have no idea what you all have meant to me and my family. The day is going to come, folks, where I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't know when that is. I want to be able to do it for as long as I want to do it. But the day will come where I'm not going to be able to. And I want you to understand that even when the day comes, I'd like to be here. Because I have this sense of needing to constantly show my appreciation for all that you have done and meant to me. So I hope you all have a great Christmas, a great New Year. And I hope that the things that are in store for all of us in the coming year are certainly better than what we have endured in 2020. I don't know too many people have enjoyed 2020. Probably some sickos out there who have, but 2021 has to be better. We're going to try to make it that way here at the EIB Network. Again, folks, thank you so much. I wish there were a way to say it other than thank you. You're just the best. My family is just the best. Thank you.
Wow, I think you're right.
He knew something.
I think you're absolutely right. That
he knew something.
Yeah.
I think he knew that he was heading into a very difficult time with his cancer diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knew it was stage 4. And when I saw this the first time, I go, boy, that just answers so many questions about from that moment on to the point where, to the time when he passed away, how his show and his demeanor changed. You know, and we've interviewed his brother on numerous occasions, David Limbaugh, who was an attorney and a very strong Christian, and wrote 3 apologetic books on Christianity and on Jesus. And in one of the interviews that I had with David Limbaugh, I said, I know it's very private to Rush, but can you just give me a little bit of an insight about his faith? And I'll never forget, he looked right into the camera and he said, Perry, don't even have a second thought about Rush being a believer. He is given his life to Christ. He is a strong believer.
All right, all right.
So I just left it. I never questioned it. I just left it. I respected that. But when I saw this clip, I go, wow. It was all. It was an announcement.
Yeah, I think
that's what it was.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Fish Lake Resort is a special place to visit during the holiday season, where you can enjoy warm holiday treats next to a crackling fire, all in a spectacular winter wonderland. Enjoy jingling sleigh rides with kids' crafts every weekend, the perfect Christmas tree, Nordic trails, and wild adventures on a frozen lake. When the stars come out, your own cozy cabin awaits with a warm fire and hot cocoa steaming. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to plan your visit.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family-run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Welcome back. 13 minutes before the hour. This next little video that I want to share with you today is underscores something that I've been trying to get my head and heart around. And I really don't even know how to express it. Hopefully in the next month or so I can put words to it. But I truly believe something spiritually is happening around the world, but in America, that we can't seem to put our description on. But in spite of the negativity of news and the division of our culture and all of the anxiety that it has produced, there is a move of God. And people are standing up for their faith in all areas of life. You know, I went through a kiosk this morning, a very, very recognizable, notable kiosk.
Okay, all right.
And for the first time, the guy's taking my order, and he leans in. You know how they come? They lean out of the building halfway, and almost sit on your lap.
Yeah.
And they, and he has a cross on.
Oh, okay.
And I said, "Hey, I like your cross." He goes, "Oh, thank you." So he takes my order, and he makes it, and he comes back, and he said, "God bless you and Merry Christmas."
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, here's a young man inside a kiosk with a bunch of his woke buddies being a witness.
Yes. Yes.
It's happening, folks.
That's great.
This next clip is actress Candace Cameron Bure. She's been well known throughout Hallmark channels, and she's now on the American channel or something like that. It's kind of like the Christian antidote to Hallmark.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And she shares how she was able to witness for God on the movie set.
I was doing this movie, and it was such a great script and very family friendly, but there was a few times that used the "oh my God" phrase flippantly. And that bugs me. I don't like to hear it. And so I thought, I'm going to ask him if we could just not say this. But I just started praying about it like a month before I went to work on the film. And then I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I said, "Hey, I'm doing this Christmas movie with Tom Arnold." And my friend said, "Tom Arnold? you know you got to witness to him. I was like, you just said that, so like now I actually have to do that because it's like a dare. I'm like, okay, so I start praying about witnessing to Tom Arnold and seeing if I can get these OMG phrases out of the movie, because you have to understand, you can't just walk up and be like, hey, I don't want to say this, or I'm going to change this line. The very first day we were on the set, I was having lunch with the director and Tom. And we're going over the notes for the script, and all of a sudden my heart just starts like beating out of my chest. It's going like really, really fast, and my palms are sweating, and I'm like, okay, God, I know I'm gonna say something. Stop, okay. So I'm like, I got, okay. And then I was like, you know, so I just have a note, you know, the script is so great and it's so family friendly, and I just would really love if there was just nothing in there that would be offensive to anyone. And they said, well, what's wrong? And I said, well, there's a couple times when there's just phrases that say like, oh my God, and could we just not say that? Could we just say like, you know, wow, or oh wow, okay, like something, just replace that. And Tom looked at me and he said, well, how is saying, oh my God, offensive? And I said, well, it's actually blasphemy. Because like, if you're not really talking to God and, you know, and you're just using his name, it's like kind of using it in vain. And so, and the director looked at both of us as we're talking, and she was like, I'll just leave you two to this conversation. And she left. And so I'm sitting there with Tom, and he was like, okay, explain this to me. And I shared the whole gospel with him. Shared everything with him. And I was like, God, you did that on the very first day? I couldn't believe it. And then, you know, the whole movie, I'm just going, okay, who wants to hear about Jesus? Because you like get a high when you tell someone about Jesus.
Oh.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, that is fantastic.
And I think the takeaway from that, stand up where you are.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be abusive. Ask the Lord to give you the right things to say at the right time, you know? And I think there's also a move among Christian organizations that have formed themselves as a faith-based organization, but kind of shy away from witnessing, but just providing the service.
Yes.
No, the reason you are there is because God called you there, and ultimately He's using you and the service you provide to draw people to Him.
Yeah.
Stand up for that.
Right, and what she said was so appropriate there. She said, God, you want me to witness to Tom Arnold? It's like, well, wait a minute, and that happens to us. It's like, you want me to witness to that person?
Yeah.
Can't you find somebody else for me?
And if the guy at the kiosk can lean through at 4:30 in the morning and say, God bless you, Merry Christmas, I go,
yes. Oh, wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
She is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, we've got some great guests coming up, and Paulina is going to join me a little bit later on Focus Today.
Paulina will be in the house.
In the house.
All right. Well, okay.
I'll witness to her.
Okay, well, here we're in a parking lot, and there's a guy going up to a gal in the parking lot. That's the scenario. And he asked this stranger in a parking lot for help wrapping a Christmas present. Then he surprised her with a life-changing gift. Check this out.
A homeless family experienced an unforgettable Christmas surprise when a man approached them in a parking lot asking for help wrapping a present, only for them to discover that the gift was for them. The mother was in complete disbelief, repeating, "You're kidding me right now," over and over again. The man behind the heartwarming gesture, Jesus Morales, is a popular YouTuber famous for taking hardworking construction workers on trips to theme parks. After the video went viral, Morales shared a GoFundMe to help the family, and it has already raised over $139,000, a remarkable outpouring of generosity from total strangers.
Sitting there, she's in the parking lot with her kids.
Well, folks, it just totally underscores everything. I mean, I realize Christmas is a season of giving, and the reason for the season, and Jesus came as a babe, and the story of Christmas, okay, and it results in us looking at people differently.
Yes. Yes.
If it wasn't for the grace of God, there go I.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you have much to be thankful for, even though you have little.
Amen.
And but moreover, the Scripture says it's more blessed to give than receive. And when you actually stop and take time out and you give of yourself, I'm telling you, there's something about that money can't buy.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a lot of outreaches and a lot of things. But why don't you consider this? You personally, you don't have to go through an organization, but you personally do something for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You go out of your way to do something for somebody else. You don't have to go through an organization or a group or a ministry. You do it. You become your own ministry for a moment and do it yourself.
Ministry for a moment. I like that.
Okay. For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. What do those titles mean? I'll tell you when we come back.
Out here, Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate what truly matters: love, community, and the magic of being together. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Grange Co-op.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Oh, shine.
Get ready for fun at Rogue Ski Shop Think Snow Sale. Boulder Gear clothing now 20% off. Goggles, adults starting at $29, kids starting at $26. All Scott gloves 20% off. If you ski or ride, it's time to slide into Rogue Ski Shop Medford.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
Grab a cup of coffee
and start your day right.
Join us for Mornings on the Dove.
You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. Merry Christmas Eve. It's hard to believe that we are here, but here we are. And I have the Shady Cove Santa to my left here this morning.
Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah.
Good morning.
And anyway, good morning to you. Drive carefully. The Pacific Northwest is, boy, we're hunkered down in a big storm out there.
And you know, it's all the way down through the Bay Area today. It's going to be blustery, windy, and rainy. And I'm telling you, the West Coast is getting it right now.
We're getting it, so be careful. And it's still mild.
Yes.
Not a whole lot of snow mixed in.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, so drive carefully out there. Good morning to you. Merry Christmas Eve. And, you know, a lot of traveling today. And I didn't know so many people lived in Southern Oregon. They were all on the street yesterday.
Yes.
At the same time.
But guess what? They're not on the street this morning. I came in this morning, and the roads were pretty much just bare.
So I was just running a quick errand yesterday.
Okay.
A real quick errand, okay. I had to go over to the printers, and I got in the wrong lane at an intersection.
Okay, uh-oh.
Okay, so I'm coming up, and I thought, well, I need to get in the right lane. But the right lane was backed up for 20 miles. So I went to the center lane thinking, well, you know, I'll just get it. But it was one of those intersections where it's only the right lane that went through.
Okay, yes, yes.
I sat there for 2 light changes.
Oh, no.
Before I could, then I still had to turn left and go up to the next block, turn right and come around to get on the street that I wanted to go because the traffic was so heavy. Am I complaining? Yes.
Humbug.
Everybody was out here. Anyway, good morning to you. Merry Christmas.
Yes. Well, it is Christmas Eve. And, you know, obviously there are still some stores open, so if you need your last-minute shopping done, get her done.
Yeah, this was the
Good
day
luck.
that Leon Hunsaker, the late Leon Hunsaker, would buy his wife Margaret a mannequin.
Why did he buy
it? It was the only thing left in the store. He had a closet full of mannequins.
Good old Leon.
Good old Leon.
Well, I did it once, the latest I've ever done it. I was on my way home on Christmas Eve, and I had the gift all picked out. I knew the store it was in, the whole deal. And on my way home, I swing into this big box store at the end of a mall, you know, and I pull into the parking lot, and I go in. As I'm going in the door, a guy is standing there, and he says, "You got 15 minutes." I'm looking at him like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but see, I knew what I wanted. I wasn't shopping, man. I went in there and I got it. And I went on the way out and I said, Merry Christmas. And he just looked at me.
That proves my point. Women shop, men hunt.
There you go. Yes.
You go in, you shot it, you bagged it, and got out of there.
I was out of there.
Got it.
And it was a big success.
There we go.
Hung it on the wall. It was great.
That's great.
But it is Christmas Eve, and it's also a special day, a sweetened dairy-based beverage which is traditionally made with milk and cream, sugar, whipped eggs, and spices. It is National Eggnog Day.
I'd like to have some.
Yes, when we're doing virgin eggnogs, you know, I know that some traditions change it, but, you know, as is pretty good. The only bad thing about this is you got to be careful, because it looks like cholesterol just forming.
It is. It's high cholesterol.
Yes.
We lived in the country when I was younger, and there was this place called Indicum's Dairy. Everybody knew it.
Okay.
And they made their own homemade eggnog, and my dad would buy it in those stainless steel little jugs.
Oh, really?
Directly. In fact, we'd go to the dairy. And just go right there and buy things, you know.
Right.
And watch it come from the cow, go right into the banana. So my dad bought these, and they had their own really homemade eggnog. And it was just absolutely wonderful, and it was very delicious and source, you know. But my parents put something in it. Now I know why they were happy in the evening.
Well, we're celebrating.
I couldn't figure it. I didn't know it was the nutmeg on top or it was something else.
Oh, goodness. Well, here we are celebrating Virgin Eggnog Day.
There we go. We'll call it
your
Virgin Eggnog. Okay.
And what tonight, maybe, you know, unless you have some family things going on, watch a classic holiday movie. And one of the best, maybe It's a Wonderful Life. This morning in Fox, on the Fox app, I saw this piece, and it says the story of George Bailey is about gratitude of God's blessings and learning to trust Him, especially when life doesn't go the way that you think it should. This writer said this is the best Christmas Christmas movie of them all. But did you know that James Stewart, who was cast as George Bailey, almost got preempted by Cary Grant?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were thinking about, but Frank Capra, the director, he said ultimately Stewart was the right guy for the part. The town of Bedford Falls was elaborate. The set was built from scratch. It covered 4 acres, and it featured 75 buildings and took 2 months to construct. And it lost money. This movie was not a box office success. It lost money, and it has now become a classic. And due to a clerical error in 1974, it entered the public domain, allowing TV stations to air it without paying royalties.
Right.
And this contributed to its rise in popularity. During the 80s, it became a favorite. And over the years, It's a Wonderful Life has become a staple of holiday viewing, often regarded as one of the greatest films ever, and both Frank Capra and Jimmy Stewart considered it their favorite film.
Wow.
And Frank Capra would screen it for his family every Christmas.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Stewart had just come back from the war to make this film.
He was interviewed by Johnny Carson about the film. And of course, he was Jimmy Stewart in full form sitting there on the couch.
Right.
Yeah. And he said, it was my favorite film. He said, but he you know how he talked.
Yes,
but,
you did that pretty
he said
good.
it was his favorite film.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So now let me ask you this. There are colorized versions of some of these classics, like It's a Wonderful Life, and then there are the classic black and white. What say you? What do you prefer?
Well, that's a great question. I think you need to watch both.
Okay.
But on that particular film, remember when he prayed? He was losing everything and he prays?
Yes.
Well, when he was being interviewed by Johnny Carson about that prayer, he said it was one of those moments that prayer, while he was filming it, touched him.
Really?
And while he was talking to Johnny Carson about how that prayer touched him, he said, talking about it now, I have that feeling again.
Really?
Yeah. So, but we watched White Christmas the other night, which is, I can't even believe we sat down and did this. It shows you how bored we get, I guess. I don't know. But I said, honey, let's take a look at this. And so we flip it on. We start watching. We didn't know if we were going to finish watching it, but it was the colored version.
Okay, yeah.
Where they hit, I don't know what they did.
It's got
They
Danny Kaye in it.
And Bing Crosby's eyes were really blue.
Oh.
And I don't know how they did that.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it was the colored version.
AI.
It was it was pretty fantastic, really.
Yeah.
But
well,
great stuff. Yeah.
We got a bunch of holiday movies that we could watch. Some will watch it tonight. The big question is Die Hard a holiday movie?
No. No, don't stretch that.
Okay.
There's nothing about Die Hard that has the Christmas message in it.
Right.
I will say this: a lot of churches will have services tonight.
Oh, yeah, right.
There's a lot of churches. I think ours is having 3.
Oh, goodness.
And so I don't know where you attend, but you may want to,
Yep, we do a
service.
candlelight service and lots of good
so we have
singing.
candlelight services
it's
tonight.
wonderful.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Here's a guy that's black and white, color, whatever you want him to be.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, near 49 in McMinnville, with an east wind gusting up to 39 miles per hour. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime highs in the low 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 54 in Eugene, with a southwest wind gusting up into the upper 30s. Rain with gusty winds across central Oregon, then clearing to mostly sunny with highs near 53 in Prineville and low 50s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rain likely with a high in the mid-50s. Rain with gusty winds along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 50 in Brookings, and near 55 in Crescent City, California, with a south wind gusting up to 55 miles per hour. In southern Oregon, rainy and breezy with wind advisories in the Rogue Valley and the Klamath Basin, with daytime highs near 49 in Grants Pass, 56 in Medford, 52 in Ashland, and near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into Northern California, rainy and breezy in Wairika with a high near 51. Rain with wind advisories and flood watches for Redding with a high near 50. And Chico and Sacramento with highs in the mid-50s. Rain with a flood watch, patchy fog, wind advisories, and late afternoon thunderstorms across the Bay Area today, with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, 60 in San Francisco, and near 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Christmas Eve weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, there we go. There's a picture of our valley, and yes, it's been raining pretty hard this morning, and the temperatures are on the mild side. Currently, what is it, 44 degrees out there, at least on the valley. Don't know what Mount Ashland is doing yet. We'll get a picture of that as it lightens up a little bit, but had snow yesterday, but this warm weather here could be different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're getting intermittent rain and snow, and maybe some snow at the top of the mountain, but it's kind of iffy at the bottom.
Drive carefully out
We'll see. Well, this is wonderful. Pastor Billy Graham brings Christmas from his family to yours in this special Christmas message.
You know, chiseled into the cornerstone of the United Nations building is a quotation from the Bible that has never yet been fulfilled. It reads like this: "They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." That's a thrilling hope at this moment of history. It has often been repeated by men who long for peace. However, this quotation must not be taken out of context. The passage speaks of the time when the Messiah will reign over the whole earth. This is the era of which Jesus taught us to pray in the Lord's Prayer: "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven." This is the time when he who came as a baby at Bethlehem shall come as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The Bible teaches that there will be a close to history as we know it. Man will have his last Armageddon. But when it seems that man is about to destroy himself, God will intervene. Christ will return. At his birth, he was in the stall of an animal. At his death, he wore a crown of thorns. But when he comes again, it will be as the commander-in-chief of the armies of heaven. He will take control of this war-weary world and bring the permanent peace that we strive for and long for. A new world will be formed. A new social order will emerge. In the midst of so much gloom and pessimism in many parts of the world that we've seen this year, or perhaps even in your own heart, we're not to wring our hands. The angel said to the frightened shepherds 2,000 years ago, "Fear not." Jesus says, "Let not your heart be troubled. If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again." There's a fairly new gospel song entitled, "The King is Coming." I love it. The King is coming. And when he comes, sin will be eliminated. Tears will be wiped from every eye. Disease shall be no more. And even death, man's greatest enemy, will be eliminated from the human race. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and wars shall be no more. This is the promise of Christmas. This is our hope. This is the Christmas star that lights our evening darkness. This is the assurance that a new day is coming through the Messiah whose name is called by Isaiah the prophet, Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. This is God's gift of Christmas.
Wow. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, man.
All right, so this is a perfect opportunity for me to play off those titles.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
It takes place of the dullness of life. Counselor takes care of the decisions of life. Mighty God takes care of the demands of life. Everlasting Father takes care of the dimensions of life. And Prince of Peace takes care of the disturbances of life.
All right.
That's what those titles mean.
Nice.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. Happy Christmas Eve to you. Some interesting stories to start the day. The president lost one yesterday with the Supreme Court. They ruled against him 6-3 that he cannot nationalize the National Guard in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can say, okay, he steps back.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let him go.
Okay.
Yep.
The other story is the White House ended a interesting Biden-era policy and rolled back the Biden-era policy that allowed the Department of Veterans Affairs to provide limited abortion counseling and abortion services to through the VA health care, including cases of rape and incest, according to the internal agency communication. And the legal opinion said that they believe it's illegal for the VA not to have legal authority under the existing federal law to provide abortion services to veterans and their dependents. That's probably where it came in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's a turnaround.
Yeah.
We mentioned this briefly yesterday when former Vice President Mike Pence has really taken a lot of people away from the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation, I can't even believe it's happening, but they've allowed for anti-Semitic statements to go unchallenged. And the president there did not rescind those comments. And the problem is now that the Heritage Foundation, a lot of their board members and members have just flat up got up and left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're joining an organization called the Advancing American Freedom, which is headed up by former Vice President Mike Pence. And yesterday, former U.S. Attorney General Ed Meese III announced that he was leaving the Heritage Foundation and joining the Advancing American Freedom. He was, as you remember, the U.S. Attorney General under Reagan. He was one of President Reagan's most trusted advisors. Met him twice, once at the White House when I went there for the celebration of the bicentennial of the Constitution, and then once when he was still kind of like floating around a little bit, and he happened to be at the Capitol in Sacramento when Governor Reagan was governor, and he was in the office when I went in there. I had no idea who he was. I mean, I look back on, that's Ed Meese.
That's Ed Meese. Yeah.
But the point being is, a very highly respected guy. And this is interesting to me because it looks like the AAF is going to become the next Heritage Foundation of conservative think tanks. And I'm really genuinely sad to see the Heritage Foundation fall apart.
Yeah, and how far will it fall apart?
Well, unless they get rid of the president, it's on its way out.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it's going to be a soft right think tank, well, have a nice day, I guess.
Okay, I have another question. Okay, so now you see this new group forming, this new think tank, and they're kind of around Mike Pence. What does it mean for Mike Pence in the next election cycle?
Well, I think there was rumors that former Vice President Mike Pence is going to run in 2028 for president, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not saying, he's a nice guy, he's a sharp guy, he was a governor, he served well. He served as vice president very well to President Trump up until January 6th. That's when the relationship blew up.
Yep.
But I just don't know if he has the gravitas to pull it off.
Right.
And I don't know if the agency can afford to endorse somebody and still have credibility, especially if that person loses.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
The best that agency can do is stay neutral if it wants to have a life beyond a campaign.
You know, and you're right. You know, there are a lot of things to like about Mike Pence, but when you look at him, it kind of reminds you of old guard republicanism.
It is, and the way he talks is that way.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I just don't know if he has the gravitas to pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, the other story is the Tucker Carlson thing, which is so... I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I don't either.
But he yesterday received the Jewish civil rights group Stop Anti-Semitism, named Tucker Carlson its 2025 Anti-Semite of the Year.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. And there's only one guy that can stop this. Him.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you, how would you advise him?
I would say, Tucker, if you're not anti-Semitic, go on your show like right now and make the statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And tell me that you're, but he's for the Palestinians. He's made subsequent comments, And I think this puts unbelievable pressure on Eric Kirk.
Oh.
Because he's spoken there at the,
Charlie's.
Yeah.
At his funeral, right? At his memorial.
It's just, I don't know. I think if I'm just guessing, that he's bought into the replacement theology crowd.
That was my question.
All right. So yesterday, Rabbi Mencken, who is pretty well known, said that Tucker gets this award because of things that he has said post his interview with Nick. What's Nick's last name? Fuentes, yeah. Who is a left-wing crazy.
Exactly.
So anyway, here's what the rabbi had to say.
It's not just, by the way, Tucker Carlson platforming Nick Fuentes and other anti-Semitic people for softball interviews. It's things that he himself has now said, accusing Israel of committing genocide and accusing hummus eaters of plotting to kill Jesus. There's obviously what going on in Tucker Carlson's own repertoire that is simply unacceptable. And the reason why it's a defining moment is because if you look at the left, anti-Semitism took over. It's now permeated the Democratic Party simply because they never had a moment where they said, stop, we're going to consider this before it's too late. Now you have conservatives dividing themselves up on each side of this question. Do we think that Tucker Carlson is fine and he's helpful and he's good for the conservative movement? Or do we recognize the anti-Semitic danger that he presents?
Well, again, he's the only one that can stop it, and he hasn't. And so it only leaves you with the conclusion that he is buying into the replacement theology, and he has, which is basically, well, look it up for yourself, and that he's now, I guess, anti-Semitic. I mean, how else can you say it?
Yeah. Yes.
So, it's sad. I mean, he's this. He was this golden boy on Fox of conservative movement. He gets his own show. He goes great.
Yeah.
He was. I don't know what happened to him in Fox. Do you remember what happened? They kind of.
I don't remember.
I think it was over some Trump stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And
but he left with pay.
He left with pay.
Right.
And he went out. And I think that contract now has run out.
Okay.
And now he's got this podcast, and he gave an amazing testimony during Charlie Kirk's memorial.
Right.
And then he's got this side on him. You kind of go, okay, what's going on? The only thing I can say, folks, from my experience, a lot of people believe this. A lot of Christians believe this.
It's true, yeah.
And so I have to just kind of leave it alone because it's a hot potato.
Okay, well, we're going to go to a break. Let's do it on a lighter note.
What?
Okay, you know the old movie Home Alone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, that is a Christmas movie.
That is a Christmas movie, okay. Now, Kevin McAllister got left home, and at one point he goes to the grocery store.
Yes.
And he's got to buy some supplies.
Right.
And in that supply list, he had milk, OJ, bread, a TV dinner, mac and cheese, detergent, saran wrap, dryer sheets, toilet paper, and toy soldiers. Do you remember how much he paid for it? Oh. It was $19.83. So they've taken all those items and they figured out how much it would cost today.
Yeah.
$72 for the same shopping list. There you go.
So Home Alone couldn't be on the air today.
That's right.
Great little story, though.
All right.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Out here, Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate what truly matters: love, community, and the magic of being together. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Grange Co-op.
Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Jesus is the answer for the world
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Hey, happy and Merry Christmas Eve. All right, a lot going on out there today. A little bit of backyard news or Pacific Northwest news. As you know, the tariffs situation has really harmed the agricultural industry across the United States. A lot of the Midwest farmers, especially those in the soybean areas and stuff like that, were hit very hard with the tariff exchange with China. And it has impacted the Pacific Northwest. We've had a lot of farmers here that deal with apples, pears, cherries, hops, potatoes. They too have been impacted by the tariffs. So the president's come up with a $12 billion farm bailout package. And from the best we can determine at the moment, of the $12 billion, 11 of it will probably be allocated mostly into the Midwest, but $1 billion could come to the Pacific Northwest for the growers here. Well, it helps. But most of the farmers are saying, thank you, Mr. President. It's a Band-Aid fix. We would rather have our crop go to market.
Yeah.
So this is the downside of tariffs and the tariff war. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but apparently this aid is on its way. But at the end of the day, I can tell you this. Farmers are proud people that work hard.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be bought out. They just want to keep working.
Right.
And they'll fight the market values as they come about, especially the commodities market. But they're proud people, and got to remember, folks, food did not come from Safeway or Albertsons or Food for Less or Sherham's.
True.
Okay, it didn't come from there, so think about that. All right, a quick look at Wall Street. It's open for about 10 minutes today, I think. Thank you, Preston, over there at Smart Lawn. God bless you, pal, you and your family, and especially your ice cream shop. The Dow's up a little bit at 122. The Nas is up a little over a point and a third. And the S&P up 8 and almost 9 points. So a little green ink on this Christmas Eve, and I guess that's okay. Gold is at $44.97. Silver's at $70.95, almost $71. It looks like it went up and came down, but it's still very high. And crude oil has bumped back up to $61.46 a barrel.
Okay, and some surprising economic news has been unveiled. You know, you mentioned tariffs, and I think a lot of people have been bracing for the effects of tariffs in our everyday lives and probably haven't seen them to the extent of what was expected or predicted. But with that in mind, White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett highlights President Donald Trump's economic record. He did it on Fox Business's Kudlow.
So Reagan did it with tax policy, and then it happened in the late 90s really because computers made everybody more productive. The thing about what President Trump intuits, which is true, is that we've got both of those. So we've got artificial intelligence increasing productivity, and we've got amazing tax policy as well. And so there's a chance that we get to numbers north of even what you've seen without inflation. And that's the other thing that the president mentioned in his Truth Today, which I really want to reemphasize because he understands this, is that if you see growth, because the government is sending checks to everybody and the Fed is printing money, then that's going to cause inflation. The Fed's going to have to raise rates. But if you feel growth because of supply side effects, then you can get the growth without the inflation. And that's something that we're seeing right now. As you know, CPI came in with a core of 1.6% just last week. And so we're getting growth without inflation, which is really proving both Reagan and Trump correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Everybody that I talk to that are kind of in the know. You know, I had Professor Michael Busler on. He said yes.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Now, so we get stronger economic news than what was expected. We've been promised a robust economy into the coming year. Do you think this like gets that steamrolling thing going into the new year, and kind of greases skids?
Yeah, we're in this little bit of a pause, you know, but the policies are look, I think I'm an economist until I talk to somebody, then I'm as stupid as a rock, you know. But anyway, I think I understand, but it all the same. Look, inflation went from 9% to 2.5%, and they think at the beginning of the year it'll be at 2%.
Wow.
You got to get mortgage rates down.
Right.
That's a rubber ball. It bounces around. And it looks like some of the energy prices are coming down. Now, the West Coast, we have a problem called our states.
Yes.
Our state adds a lot of dollars.
Yeah, not only taxes and fees, but now the reduction of refineries.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's problematic. But overall, everything seems to be in place. And the timing couldn't be better. This could be a really big deal for the midterm elections.
Yeah. Yes.
But all you that pay taxes, guess what? You're not going to get taxed on Social Security. You're not going to get taxed on tips. You're not going to get taxed on overtime. All of that means a greater rebate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know, that could be pretty happy stuff.
I think so.
All right. Well, so much for all that. We're happy. Now, listen, today is Eggnog Day.
Yes, it is.
Tomorrow's Pie Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pumpkin Pie Day.
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have a tradition? What's your tradition tomorrow for food?
Yeah. Yeah. Not
really. Yeah, okay. We'll have some of that. We'll be right back.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride Grace back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California, or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm. And happy eggnog, happy pumpkin pie. But remember what it's really all about. You know, what a chance to witness. What an opportunity to tell the real Christmas story. Isn't it interesting? People that don't believe in them celebrate them.
Yeah. Yes.
They spend a lot of money saying no.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, good morning to you. Well, CBN has a special report from where? Bethlehem.
All right.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the special edition of CBN News Watch. I'm George Thomas. We're taking you down to the little town of Bethlehem. the birthplace of Jesus. Here's Chris Mitchell with more on the significance of this historical biblical town.
Welcome to where Christmas began. Welcome to Bethlehem. I'm standing not far from Manger Square here in the heart of the city and right next to the Church of the Nativity. It's the oldest church in all of Christianity that's been in continuous use about 1,700 years back to the 4th century. While not everyone agrees, there's powerful evidence that this place was the family home of Joseph and the birthplace of Jesus. Here's why. First of all, 100 years after Jesus was born, a church father named Justin Martyr came to Bethlehem, and he asked the local people, where was Jesus born? And this is where they took him. Then 100 years later, another church father named Origen came to Bethlehem, and again he asked, where was Jesus born? And the locals brought him to the same place where they showed Justin Martyr. Fast forward another 100 years when Emperor Constantine sent his mother, Queen Helena, to find the holy sites from the life of Jesus. And again, this is the place where she was led. And that's why they built the church here. First of all, to get into the church, you have to go through here, which is called the Door of Humility, because you have to stoop down to get inside. In the heart of the church is a grotto, and inside the grotto is a spot where some people believe was the manger where Jesus was born. The story of the birth of Jesus lives on 2,000 years later, and the Gospel of Luke tells the timeless story. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world, and everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Bethlehem in Judea, the town of David, where he belonged to the house and the line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." We may not know exactly where X marks the spot, but we do know that somewhere near here, Jesus was born. And after 2,000 years, the good news of great joy is still being told around the world of what happened here in this little town of Bethlehem. Merry Christmas.
That's great. Well, if you ever go to the Holy Land, you have to go down to Bethlehem. You have to go to the Church of the Sepulchre and go on in and let's see, wait, yeah, that one, the one in Bethlehem, excuse me, and go through that. There's really, it's just interesting.
All right.
And you go down to that place down in the basement where they think that's where Jesus was born. That's some people say that, but somewhere in that area. But the church, all these centuries, there's a place in the church that has layers of the various mosaic floors through the centuries.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see the first one all the way up to the modern. And the way they did mosaic, I mean, it was an art. It was just beautiful stuff.
Yes.
So good stuff all the way around. Well, here's a story that kind of follow up on that. It's called The Weather with Jerry.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rainy and breezy with daytime highs in the low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, near 49 in McMinnville, with an east wind gusting up to 39 miles per hour. Continuing rainy and breezy as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime highs in the low 50s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 54 in Eugene, with a southwest wind gusting up into the upper 30s. Rain with gusty winds across central Oregon, then clearing to mostly sunny with highs near 53 in Prineville and low 50s for Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, rain likely with a high in the mid-50s. Rain with gusty winds along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 50 in Brookings, and near 55 in Crescent City, California, with a south wind gusting up to 55 miles per hour. In southern Oregon, rainy and breezy with wind advisories in the Rogue Valley and the Klamath Basin, with daytime highs near 49 in Grants Pass, 56 in Medford, 52 in Ashland, and near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into Northern California, rainy and breezy in Wairika with a high near 51, rain with wind advisories and flood watches for Redding with a high near 50, and Chico and Sacramento with highs in the mid-50s. Rain with a flood watch, patchy fog, wind advisories, and late afternoon thunderstorms across the Bay Area today, with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Santa Rosa and Napa, 60 in San Francisco, and near 61 in San Jose. It's a look at your Christmas Eve weather from Grange Co-op.
Okay, and there's a little look of Mount Ashland. It does have some snow, but you can also see the road in the parking lot. So it kind of comes and goes because of the temperatures up there. So we need some more rain, or more snow.
More snow. We just need a little bit of colder temperature. Well, on this day in 1972, Bob Hope took to the stage in Vietnam for a final time, closing a remarkable chapter in holiday history.
For 9 consecutive years, the legendary entertainer traveled to Vietnam to perform Christmas shows for American troops far from home. At a time when the war was deeply unpopular back home, Hope believed the men and women serving overseas still deserved laughter, music, and a reminder that they were not forgotten. These shows became more than entertainment. They were a lifeline filled with jokes, celebrities, and moments of normalcy in the middle of a war zone. Hope often said his favorite audience was the troops, and they returned that love with unwavering devotion. After Vietnam, Bob Hope continued his Christmas tradition for decades, eventually performing holiday shows for U.S. service members in nearly every major conflict of the 20th century. His final Vietnam show marked the end of an era, but the legacy remains. Bob Hope proved that sometimes the greatest gift you can give is simply showing up, especially when it matters most.
Yeah.
We watched those specials.
He was
really good.
One of the great humanitarians.
Yeah,
you know,
he kept going, but you were right. You mentioned the line that he used to use.
Well, he'd bring Raquel Welch out on the stage, and he said, "I just wanted to show you guys, remind you what you're fighting for." And it was a classic line, but gosh, he was branded with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, I'm going to go from Bob Hope to Rush Limbaugh. This is Rush Limbaugh's final broadcast at the end of 2020. Now, if you were a Rush Limbaugh fan, you know during the Christmas season, he always played as bumper music is Mannheim Steamroller music, which is really great stuff. Yeah. And he'd play it, and he'd hum along with it and everything. Yeah. But this broadcast, now we know why he said what he's saying here. And so this is his final broadcast of 2020 while he's playing Silent Night with Mannheim and Steamroller. And here's what he had to say.
We wrap up with Mannheim Steamroller and Silent Night. And my ongoing attempts to thank everybody in the audience, all of you, for everything you mean to me. That last call, that's reminds me how much I love all of you, how much I so appreciate everything you've meant to me and my family. You don't have any idea how. I know so many people think this program has changed their lives for the better. You have no idea what you all have meant to me and my family. The day is going to come, folks, where I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't know when that is. I want to be able to do it for as long as I want to do it. But the day will come where I'm not going to be able to. And I want you to understand that even when the day comes, I'd like to be here. Because I have this sense of needing to constantly show my appreciation for all that you have done and meant to me. So I hope you all have a great Christmas, a great New Year. And I hope that the things that are in store for all of us in the coming year are certainly better than what we have endured in 2020. I don't know too many people who've enjoyed 2020. Probably some sickos out there who have, but 2021 has to be better. We're going to try to make it that way here at the EIB Network. Again, folks, thank you so much. I wish there were a way to say it other than thank you. You're just the best. My family is just the best. Thank you.
Okay, now we know what he meant.
Right, yeah.
He obviously there knew that he had a battle of cancer ahead, and it appears to me that he was also saying that it was terminal. It was stage 4, and he didn't last too much longer after all that. So, gosh. I have one of his books that was given to me that was written by his brother, David Limbaugh, and his wife, Catherine. And they co-authored this book, and every once in a while I'll just stick my nose in it and read portions of it. It's laid out really well. But all of a sudden you begin to realize there was something inside Rush that was different. You know, and he was a believer. I asked David Limbaugh, because I've interviewed David, and he said, look, don't ever question Rush's faith. It's solid as a rock.
All right.
So,
all right.
Anyway, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right, 14 minutes before the hour. How are you doing sharing your faith? You can share it anywhere you want. Why don't you be your own ministry today? Yeah. Be your own ministry today. Share your faith. And I'll give you an example when we come back.
All right.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad.
2025 has been a remarkable year of growth for the Dove, and there's still work ahead. We have more exciting plans to bring the gospel to even more people. And once again, you, our faithful viewers and listeners, can help make this happen. Our goal is to raise $223,000. With this, we can renew our tower leases so you can continue to see and listen to the Dove. Then, and this is very exciting, we can construct a full-power TV station, opening the door for the Dove to reach thousands of new viewers via broadcast, cable, and satellite. Would you prayerfully consider sending a special gift to the Dove to help with these major projects? Thank you for helping the Dove change lives and your faithful partnership. The Dove, encouraging and informative.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
All right, Feliz Navidad is about as close as that we're going to get to a tamale.
That's
today.
it, man. That's it.
For the Latino Hispanic families, they make homemade tamales.
Yes, it's a great tradition.
And I was gifted with some yesterday.
Oh, right. Oh.
And the trick at my house is to keep them from everybody else.
Yes.
But if you've never had a homemade, and I mean authentic homemade from a Mexican family, you're really missing it. But boy, this gal made some tamales, and I can't wait.
I know.
Okay.
My mouth's watering.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, as I said going into the break, this is a great time for you to share your faith. And I truly believe, I realize we're caught up in a very anxious culture in the world. But there is a revival going on, and it's not like anything we've seen before, and no one church or denomination is going to get the credit for it. God is moving, and you can be your own ministry. Just share your faith. Help somebody. Just love somebody. That's sharing your faith. Actress Candace Cameron Bure talks about how she learned God's justice through the birth of Jesus.
So if God is a good and just judge, like the Bible says he is, by his very truth and nature, he cannot lie. He must punish those who have sinned. And the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6:9, don't you know that those who do wrong will have no share in the kingdom of God? Don't fool yourselves. Those who indulge in sexual sin, who are idol worshipers, adulterers, prostitutes, homosexuals, thieves, greedy people, drunkards, abusers, swindlers, none of these will have their share in the kingdom of God. After I read that verse, I thought, well, I'm on that list. I thought, I'm guilty. I don't meet God's standard. And so for the very first time, I saw God as a holy God and a just judge. And I then, for the first time, had a fear, an awe, a reverence for a holy God, not just this sweet, loving God that I created in my own mind to make me feel more comfortable to live the way I thought is right. So I thought, well, I'm guilty. I don't meet God's standard. So now where does that leave me? And it was then that I was told of the good news. It was then that I was told, behold, your king. See, that is why Jesus came. God sent his one and only son to die for our sin. There was that little baby born in a manger. And then the Bible says that the angel of the Lord appeared to the shepherds, and the glory of the Lord shone all around them, and they were terrified. But the angel of the Lord said, do not be afraid, for I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord. You see, before the first Christmas, we only had the law to keep us right with God. That is until Jesus came to fulfill the law. See, he lived that absolutely perfect life. He never disobeyed the 10 Commandments, never sinned in his life, and yet he willingly sacrificed himself as all of our sin was heaped upon him, and he died on that cross, taking our punishment for us. God demonstrates his own love for us in that while we were sinners, Christ died. See, as a mom, I can't imagine a love so big that I would be willing to sacrifice my own child for everyone else. And yet that's what God did for us.
Now look, what I'd like to emphasize here is the gospel's going out in ways that we never thought it would go. When you have a well-known actress like that standing up and basically preaching the gospel, there's something going on out there that we need to celebrate. And it should give all of us boldness to stand up and to share our faith and understand Christmas was is the greatest gift that God gave mankind.
Amen.
And so when I saw these clips and the other one where she had to witness to...
yes, she gets an opportunity to witness to Tom Arnold.
Right.
And she says, God, really?
Really?
Tom Arnold, you want me to witness to? And it's a great lesson for all of us, because that comes in front of us, a person you think, no way.
Well, she asked the Lord to give her boldness, and all of a sudden the circumstances change, and her and Tom Arnold are alone in the same room.
Yes, and she's sharing.
And she gives them the gospel.
Yes, she did.
I tell you, there's plenty of opportunity. And yes, there are times you preach, but then there are times you just serve. You just love somebody. And the scripture says it's more blessed to give than to receive. try giving this Christmas of yourself to someone. Be your own ministry for a day.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, speaking of giving, here's a great story. A homeless mom and her kids are in a parking lot, and seemingly a stranger comes up to her and asks her for help wrapping a Christmas present, and then he surprises her with something that changes her life.
A homeless family experienced an unforgettable Christmas surprise when a man approached them in a parking lot asking for help wrapping a present, only for them to discover that the gift was for them. The mother was in complete disbelief, repeating, "You're kidding me right now," over and over again. The man behind the heartwarming gesture, Jesus Morales, is a popular YouTuber famous for taking hardworking construction workers on trips to theme parks. After the video went viral, Morales shared a GoFundMe to help the family, and it has already raised over $139,000, a remarkable outpouring of generosity from total strangers.
And when she opens it, her daughter says, "What is it?" And she opens it again. It's filled with cash. Oh. Like, whoa.
Wow. All right, the scripture today is taken from Isaiah 9, verse 6. "For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." What do those mean? Wonderful takes care of the dullness of life. Counselor takes care of the decisions of life. Mighty God takes care of the demands of life. Everlasting Father takes care of the dimensions of life. And the Prince of Peace takes care of the disturbances of life. So take that with you today. Merry Christmas from all of us here at the Dove. And we just want to say thank you for being a part of our family and helping us do what God called us to do by spreading the gospel through media. So Merry Christmas to you and yours, and have a tamale. If you get to have one. Well, that's for all the grandkids.
Yes.
39 of them.
Get ready for fun at Rogue Ski Shop Think Snow Sale. Boulder Gear clothing now 20% off. Goggles, adults starting at $29, kids starting at $26. All Scott gloves 20% off. If you ski or ride, it's time to slide into Rogue Ski Shop Medford.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Have a blessed Christmas.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Jesus put it this way in John 5. He's talking to the Jews. John 5:39. He said, "You search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And these are they which testify of me. But you are not willing to come to me that you may have life. Do not think that I shall accuse you to the Father. There is one who accuses you, Moses, in whom you trust. For if you believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote about me." Jesus said, the law of Moses, it's all about me. Moses wrote about me. The law points to me. The purpose of the law was to bring people to Christ.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
What happens when people hear an audio Bible in their own language for the very first time?
I still remember an old man in the village. We just finished the Bible. We have it in audio. It's the story of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Would you like to listen? And the old man, 94 years old, said, I have never heard of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. That day he did. That day he accepted Christ.
Join me for the John Ankerberg Show weekdays at 4 o'clock right here on the Dove TV. It'll be encouraging and informative.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Rafael and the North Bay. Seen on KQSL 17 and these Dove TV affiliates.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Delighted to spend time when we have that opportunity to sit down with our good friend Robert Spencer. I love his passion, and he's just a great guy. He is the director of Jihad Watch, and he's a Shillman Fellow there at the David Horowitz Freedom Center. He's the author of 29 books, including the best-selling The Palestinian Delusion, The History of Jihad and Muhammad to ISIS and Anti-Semitism, and his latest book is entitled, quote, Holy Hell, Islam's Abuse of Women and the Infidels Who Enable It. These are touchy and very hard topics, but the reality in which the world in which we live. Let me say this, he does have a website, jihadwatch.org, and there's a picture of the landing page. Very, very informative. So check out the website and check out the new book. So Robert, good to see you, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Perry. Great to see you.
Thank you. So honored to have you when you give us time, because you're a busy guy. So
honor is all mine.
Well, tell us about your new book, Holy Hell. What's going on here?
Yeah, you know, that's mainly about the rape gang scandal in Britain, where there were hundreds of thousands, maybe even over 1 million British girls who were victimized by Muslim rape gangs, and the authorities looked the other way, doing nothing because they were afraid of being called Islamophobic and racist. And I show in the book it's not just in Britain, but also all over the world that this kind of thing happens because it is allowed in Islamic law. Nobody wants to talk about that, particularly in Britain. And as a matter of fact, they're about to pass Islamophobia laws to prevent anybody talking honestly about this, and that only ensures that it's going to keep happening. Girls and women are going to keep on being victimized.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio mentioned the other day in one of his speeches about the cultural divide in the West between our core values, which really emanate from the core values of the UK, and how they're slipping so fast over there. In other words, they're just kind of like letting it being, they're like they're being taken over, and they're not even sounding their alarm. How bad is it?
It's just as bad as that. It's as bad as you can imagine, Perry. It's really astonishing to see, and anybody in the Anglosphere, the English-speaking world, ought to be grieved and alarmed at what is happening in Britain today. It's nothing less than cultural and national suicide. The birthplace of the freedom of speech is now restricting the freedom of speech, putting people in prison for tweets. The birthplace, really, of Western civilization to a tremendous degree is giving that up and handing over the country to Muslim migrants who have a radically different idea of how society should be ordered. And instead of defending their own society and principles, the British people seem to be resigned to the country becoming an Islamic state. This is no exaggeration. There's a great deal of information about it in terms of the rape epidemic that I was mentioning in the book Holy Hell, but also in a larger sense, it is a cultural suicide of a self-abnegation such as we've never seen before in history. And, you know, we learned in history when we were back in school, Perry, about the Norman conquest and in 1066 and how the Angles and the Saxons were conquered and the Normans brought in a radically different civilization that ultimately created England and Britain as we know it. And now we are witnessing the end, after 1,000 years, of that civilization. Nothing less than that is what is happening right before our eyes today.
A couple of questions to dig down on this a little bit further, Robert. Do you think the average Brit understands this?
Yeah, I do think that they do, but they realize that they feel trapped because the conservatives, they voted for Brexit, and Brexit happened. That is the separation from the European Union. And then the politicians went around making all these backroom shortcuts, secret deals to make Brexit essentially a dead letter. They voted for the Conservative Party, which promised to stop the mass migration and preserve British culture. And successive conservative governments, from Boris Johnson to Rishi Sunak to there was another one, Liz Truss, very briefly, which was actually better, and that's why it was so brief. But the conservatives generally betrayed them. They elected Labor out of frustration with the conservatives, and Labor has only accelerated the betrayal of the British people. And so they really have nowhere to turn. Even Reform UK, which is a party now that's growing in popularity, again, for promises to end the mass migration, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, has said, well, we can't make this a fight against Islam. We'll lose. And so he's not going to do anything about resisting the spread of Islam in Britain, the ultimate Islamization of Britain. And so Britain has nowhere to turn. The people might want to preserve the country as we have known it all our lives, but they don't even have that option. Nobody's even offering that.
Does Farage have a chance?
Yeah, Farage has a very real chance. He just doesn't go far enough. And there was a split in his party with another politician, Rupert Lowe, who has not been afraid to talk about these issues as they ought to be talked about. But he doesn't really have much of a chance. And so it's a very dangerous situation for Britain. We can hope there will be some new development that will turn things in a more positive direction. But right now, that's not on the horizon.
Do you think this cancer could metastasize in the other Commonwealth countries?
Oh, I don't have any doubt about it. Not only the Commonwealth countries, but also the rest of the Western world. As a matter of fact, it's a more immediate problem in the Western world than it is in the Commonwealth, of course, with the exception of places like Australia, where we saw with the Bondi Beach attack just recently that the government there is just as bad, is bringing in free speech restrictions. I'm not talking about doing anything about jihad violence in the wake of the Bondi Beach attack. But then you also have France and Germany and Sweden that are likewise giving way to mass Muslim migration. It's happening to a lesser extent in North America. And we even have seen the Sharia enclave being discussed in Texas, where it remains to be seen whether our own politicians are going to have the guts to deal with this as it ought to be dealt with. The governor has spoken strongly against Sharia and classified the Muslim Brotherhood and the Council on American Islamic Relations as terror organizations, but we still have yet to see exactly how much teeth this is going to have and whether he's really going to stop Islamization in Texas.
Are you surprised, and I guess it's somewhat rhetorical, that Australia has not declared that a terrorist attack that happened there at Bondi Beach?
I wish I could say I was surprised, but unfortunately, it's a very difficult situation there. Chris Minns, the Premier of New South Wales, where the attack took place, announced in the wake of the Bondi Beach attack that he was going to outlaw the Nazi ideology. Well, that's just great. But, you know, the Nazis didn't hit Bondi Beach. Islamic jihadis did. And he's not doing anything about Islamic jihadis, Perry, because they vote for him. It is the Muslim bloc that keeps these people in power. And so they don't dare say anything about jihad because they know, contrary to their claims, that, you know, Minns and the Prime Minister of Australia, Albanese, have both said, oh, this is a perversion of Islam. This isn't the real peaceful Islam. Well, that's a lot of hogwash to start with, but they also know it's not true. They know that if they speak too strongly against this, they'll lose Muslim votes. And so they instead say all these mealy-mouthed things that we're hearing.
In your book, Robert, you zero in on the treatment of women in the Islamic faith. And this is so stunning to me because when you look at the various left groups in America that supposedly fight for the underdog, they totally ignore this. And if Sharia law finds its way into these countries as a form of government, what happens to women?
Well, you know something, we already know what the answer to that question is, Barry, from the experience in Britain. Because Britain actually about 15 years ago, started allowing Sharia courts, and they were sold to the British people as private arbitration. It was just going to be to settle marriage disputes and personal disputes of that kind. And they said anything that has to do with criminal law will refer to the British courts. Well, surprise, surprise, they lied. And what really happened was, for example, spousal abuse cases. Women would come to those courts and say, my husband beat me. And they would say, go back and try to please him. Because spousal abuse, the beating of the disobedient women is allowed in the Quran. And so the Sharia courts, of course, allowed it. They should have referred these cases to the British courts because the British courts criminalized spousal abuse, but they didn't. And the British government did nothing. And so that's the answer to your question right there. What happens when you bring in Sharia? Sharia becomes supreme.
So, Robert, what's your outlook for New York? You got Mamdani coming in, obviously a radical Islamist into a city that has lost its way. I mean, he's bumping into a lot of walls. He's not even mayor yet, but he seems to be undeterred to advance his theology and his thinking. Where do you think this is going?
Unfortunately, Perry, it's more bad news. You know, Mamdani may be bumping into walls in some ways, but he's shown great determination and consistency in other ways because he has appointed nothing but radical leftists. We're talking about very extreme, hard leftists to all the positions that he has so far filled. And we're talking about a lawyer who's defended Al-Qaeda. We're talking about people who are ex-cons who have said defund the police. This kind of thing is a very ill omen. And it's clear that this is a committed Marxist. As you know, I wrote a book, Intifada on the Hudson, The Selling of Zohran Mamdani, all about him. And you can see in there that people who knew him, they were saying, this guy is real. He's a true believer. He's not saying this to get votes. He's a real socialist. And he is applying those principles now. And this only is going to cause harm to the people of New York. He is the mayor of a city. He's not a head of state. So he is limited to some degree in the damage he can do. But he's going to go as far as he possibly can. It's very clear in implementing socialist policies in New York, and that's going to bring a world of hurt to the New York economy, and that's going to make the national economy suffer as well.
It appears that Governor Hochul may be complicit. She did veto a measure that would limit mayoral power. How dangerous is that one?
Well, it's very dangerous because, the city council, elements in the city council, were trying to hamstring Mamdani to some degree by taking away a power that he has that the mayors got a few years ago, and really it's illegitimate to start with, where he can override the council under various circumstances. And Hochul, they passed this, and Hochul vetoed it. So it seems like even though she was decidedly lukewarm during his campaign and said she didn't think it was a good idea to raise taxes and drive all the people who own businesses out of New York, and thus create massive unemployment and impoverishment for the city. Even though she said that, she ultimately ended up endorsing him, but it was at the end of the campaign, right before the election. And it seemed like she was not at all a fan, but she could have reined him in to a tremendous degree if she had signed this. And instead, in vetoing it, she's giving the signal, okay, go ahead and destroy New York, bring socialism to New York, and we're going to suffer the consequences as a state, as a country. And so it's It's just about as bad a situation as you can imagine.
Oh, sad to hear. All right, let me take a quick break. Check out Robert's new book, Holy Hell. Where can they get that, Robert?
It's at Amazon and anywhere fine books are sold.
All right, and check out his website, jihadwatch.org. We'll be right back.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Welcome back. Always an honor to have with us Robert Spencer. He's the director of Jihad Watch, and he is a Shieldman Fellow there at the David Horowitz Freedom Center. His latest books, and he's written quite a few, but his latest one called Holy Hell, and there's a picture of the cover of the book on the screen, available online. And check out his website, very informative, jihadwatch.org. Two areas I want to kind of drill down on, Robert, before I run out of time. What do you think about the mess in Minnesota with the Somalis?
Well, that was entirely to be expected, Perry. If anybody had bothered to study Islamic theology and examine what kind of people we were bringing over here, nothing was less surprising than that the Somali community in Minneapolis would commit fraud on a massive scale. And this is because Islamic law teaches that it is the responsibility of non-believers to pay for the upkeep of the believers. There is no work ethic in Islam. In Christianity, we have the idea that God blesses the work of our hands, that if we are working, if we are dedicated to His cause and His love, and we are working, then God will bless our labors. This is something that we find in the scriptures. Whereas in Islam, there is no idea that working is a blessed thing, that God can bless. It's something you have to do, but it's really kind of disreputable. What the ideal situation is that you sit back all day and relax, and the non-Muslims work, and you take their money. And that is based on the Quran saying that the Muslims must fight against the non-Muslims until they submit and pay the jizya, which is the tax. And so in the ideal situation, the non-Muslims aren't working. And so the Somalis come to Minneapolis. They see that they've got this massive welfare apparatus, and they go on welfare. It's just like in Europe. You have the massive numbers of Muslim migrants. They immediately arrive and go on welfare. They don't work because that's the way things ought to be, with the non-Muslims paying for the Muslims. And they steal. Why do they steal? Because we're not paying the jizya. So they have a right to our money. And if we're not paying it, they can take it. And that's what happened in Minneapolis.
Wow. All right, I want to shift over to the Middle East just for a moment, and I was trying to figure out how to frame this question, but we know President Trump is a deal maker. He's very tactical in his approach in making deals, and such is the case in the Middle East. But in the meantime, you got Iran now raising its ugly head with missile threats. We still haven't solved the problem in Gaza with Hamas. You got Hezbollah sticking its head up a little bit. I don't know what the whole mess is all about in Syria. Why we're even playing games there. Here's the bottom line. It appears that the president is more interested in the tactical agreement than understanding the core issue, that the philosophy of the Middle East is they want you dead. Am I mishandling this?
Perry, I think you're 100% right. I couldn't agree more. This is the big blind spot that the president has. I love him. He's a visionary in many ways. He has been a groundbreaking, consequential president. He has a chance to be ranked among the great presidents. That doesn't mean, however, that he's perfect or everything he does is right. And as a businessman and a deal maker, he tends to see things on that level. And that's fine also. That's created some of the most remarkable achievements of his presidency, like the Abraham Accords, where instead of dealing with the Palestinians and dealing with the jihad, he just bypassed it and made deals with various Arab Muslim countries on the basis of their mutual self-interest and the fact that they, as well as Israel, they were threatened by Iran as much as Israel was, so they could make a deal with Israel on that basis. That's great. However, it does not take away the reality of the Islamic Jihad ideology. And so there's only so far that pragmatic agreements can go in the Middle East. Certainly, these countries all have their various interests, and the president can make accords with them on that basis. But I think we see where this kind of strategy goes wrong with Qatar. In 2016, the president was very clear that Qatar was a sponsor of terrorism and had to be reined in. Now, they're our great friends. He wants them to aid in the reconstruction of Gaza. They're our allies, and he doesn't seem to have taken into account at all the fact that they were housing the Hamas leaders. The Hamas leaders were there on October 7th, praising Allah in Doha for the massacre of Israelis. And this is not a people that's on our side or any kind of ally. And even if he makes a mutually agreeable accord with them on the basis of some mutual self-interest, that's not going to change the fact that this is a chief sponsor of the very same Muslim Brotherhood that he's moving against now. And that's going to have to be recognized sooner or later.
Yeah, to the point where he forced Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to apologize to Qatar. I go, oh my stars!
Yeah,
that was a big deal. In the meantime, do you think the possible game changer for the president would be that if Iran, even though they may have been temporarily denuked, they're not demissiled? They have them, and they're going to use them, and it's high probability they're going to lob them over to Israel again. Do you think that would be the wake-up call?
Well, I certainly hope so, but the president is not predictable. That's one thing you got to give him. He's been constantly full of surprises. And so I was deeply disappointed when he stopped the Israelis from striking in Tehran again before the ceasefire took effect. And that could have brought down the Islamic Republic. I still think that we have a chance. We could take down the Islamic Republic, and I would hope that he would work with Israel now. Netanyahu's about to come to the United States, and I'm sure he's going to be asking that the United States act with Israel as it did before to take out the Iranian missile program before it causes too much damage. Why, there's no reason to sit and wait. We know what they're going to do with these missiles. And so the time to act is now. And I certainly hope the president heeds Netanyahu on that point.
Do you ever think that a time will come, Robert, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will finish the job without the president's okay?
Might have to happen, because if the president keeps holding them back, Israel's in an extremely difficult position because it's fighting for its very survival. This is a very small country, and a massive missile attack from Iran or a concerted ground attack from the neighboring states could mean the end of Israel altogether. And so if Trump is there trying to make deals and restraining them when they're facing an existential threat, then they may have to go it alone. And that may ultimately be for the good. We can hope and pray that it would. At the same time, I always see Ezekiel 38 in the background, Perry, and all the nations of the world rising up against Israel. This is something that very well could happen in the near future.
Do you think, kind of a philosophical question, but do you think the rule of law will ever override the continuing criticism of racism? What I mean by that is the Somali mess up in Minnesota is obviously they're playing the race card. But these people broke the law and they robbed us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, do you think rule of law will ever win?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of confidence in that regard, Perry, because it seems to me that the race card is losing its power, just like all of the things that the left has done to marginalize, demonize, and silence various individuals and groups. I think that people have caught on to that to a great degree and lost their patience with it. And so it seems to me, I don't know if there's going to be a large-scale prosecution of the Somalis who were involved in this, but it doesn't seem to me that the charges of racism are going to be a deterrent for at least the Trump administration. If they can get this going in the next 3 years, then maybe we could recoup some of that money. But if a Democrat is elected in 2028, then forget it.
One last quick question. As you know, Stefanik is pulled out of the race running for governor. She was appointed to the UN. She came out of the UN, went back to Congress. She was going to run for governor. She got into the race. Actually was starting to poll pretty well. Now got pulled out of that race back to governor, and he's going to endorse this commissioner up there who's well respected and put all his money and energy behind that. Is that a winnable race?
Yeah, I think so. Now, maybe I'm just a crazy optimist at this point, but it seems to me that you got such a disaster in Hochul and in Cuomo before her that why not? There have been Republican governors of New York before, and not really all that long ago, talking about Pataki and as mayor Giuliani in the city. So I don't know that it's outside the realm of possibility. I mean, of course, any Republican that's elected in New York City or state is going to be pretty far to the left. Nonetheless, likely preferable to whatever Democrat comes along.
Good stuff. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for your time. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out his website, jihadwatch.org, and there's a picture of his landing page. Very informative. And get a copy of his new book. I think you'll find it to be a stunning read called Holy Hell, Islam's Abuse of Women and the Infidels Who Enabled It. That's a tough one, but boy, it needs to be read. Check it out online. Thank you, Robert. God bless you, friend. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. God bless, Barry. Thank you.
Out here, Christmas isn't found in bright lights or fancy gifts. It's in the hands that help, the hearts that give, and the neighbors who always show up when it matters most. At Grange Co-op, we're a family of farmers, friends, and believers who never stop hoping for a better tomorrow. This season, let's gather close and celebrate what truly matters: love, community, and the magic of being together. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Grange Co-op.
complicated enough. Why worry about what to do with your extra car? Skip the costs of maintaining it, storing it, insuring it, or renewing registration. Car repairs? Forget about it. Here's one easy solution to your car problem. Donate it to our station. It's fast, free, tax deductible, and if you donate, you're going to feel incredible knowing you're supporting quality programming. Interested? Just call this toll-free number or donate online. Thank you.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Get ready for fun at Rogue Ski Shop Think Snow Sale. Boulder Gear clothing now 20% off. Goggles, adults starting at $29, kids starting at $26. All Scott gloves 20% off. If you ski or ride, it's time to slide into Rogue Ski Shop Medford.
Welcome back, and I've been looking forward to our guest today. Corinne Clifford is an independent journalist based there in Washington, D.C., actually a member of the White House Press Corps. She's a spokesperson for the sat123.com website, which is a leading provider of emergency communication tools, and the founder of Informed News Network, delivering uncensored news to millions. She is currently writing a book about journalism in the digital age. Whoa, can't wait till that's out. Check out the website sat123.com, sat123.com. There's a picture of the landing page. Corinne, good to see you. How are you?
I am so great. I just got back from the America Fest at TPUSA in Phoenix, Arizona, and it really did change my whole year.
Really?
It was really good.
What happened to you there? Tell me.
It was really good to be with people. We all agree that Charlie Kirk impacted our lives forever. And so it was really good to be with 30,000 people, plus, who all love Charlie Kirk.
It has been said, Corinne, that Turning Point, and especially after America Fest this year, but Turning Point as an organization is now becoming a voting bloc. In other words, it is a force to reckon with. And yet, what's so interesting about it is it's primarily made up of young people, which is amazing. What do you think?
I pray that it does become a voting bloc, because that would really change our elections for the better. However, I feel like unless the colleges are really unified and dedicated, I feel like, the voting system is not going to be affected unless we go to paper ballots and hand count the vote. No more machines ever.
Okay. In the meantime, the movement of young people to conservative values, we see it with men, and it looks like that Erica, since the passing of her husband, may be the drawing card for young women. Do you see that?
I saw it last year. I really saw Erica last year. She is just phenomenal on camera. She's 100% heartfelt. When she talks to you, you really feel like she's talking to just you, not, tens of thousands of people. And I think that Erica has what it takes to lead the Turning Point movement. She is one of the most beautiful female role models we have right now in this wild, crazy world where at any second, violence can happen. The left and radical Islamic groups are calling for violence. I'm currently in Beverly Hills inspecting the damage that happened to family houses in the Palisades fire. And Kash Patel had to announce just last week that he hopefully arrested everyone involved with the terrorist plot that they were going to enact on New Year's Eve in Los Angeles. So let's see what happens, because violence is possible, and I'm very concerned about that this next year.
The core to Turning Point not only is the legacy of Charlie Kirk, but the core of even him is his faith. How did you hear that? How was that talked about at the convention?
And that's the most beautiful thing about being around the Turning Point people. You know, there were so many young people, but there were also so many older people, and everyone was praying together. Everyone was just grateful that we could actually be together in Phoenix, Arizona. Everyone knew that, you know, Charlie is with Jesus in heaven. Everyone had such deep commitment and faith to our Christianity, where we place Jesus Christ first, of course, and then, you know, our U.S. Constitution, our families. It was such a beautiful, warm experience. When you were in a restaurant, you could really tell the difference between a member of Turning Point and someone who wasn't part of our faith. And so it was a really warm experience that everyone should actually have. And I brought one of my Beverly Hills lawyers, and I think that the Turning Point team is turning his life to Christianity. As a matter of fact, just today he called me and told me his wife wants to divorce him because she's not a Christian yet. And after he spent 4 days with us in Phoenix, Arizona, he wants to give his life to Jesus Christ. So it was so beautiful.
Okay. Gosh, there's so much here. Do you sense, let's see, how can I word this? Do you sense that there may be a silent morality, excuse me, a silent revival, let me put it that way, a silent revival going on among young people?
1,000,000%. You know, my generation got lost in the mix. Your generation seems to be way more rock solid. My generation is lost in the mix. But the next generation, the 20-year-olds, I've really talked to so many of them, and they have a silent, because they're scared to be public. They're scared to be persecuted. And so they are having a silent revival where they really believe and know that their Christian faith is what's going to get them through, not their fame, not their money. And that's what Cardi B really said at the end. At the end of the whole conference, J.D. Vance, Cardi B, they really made it clear to the whole audience that, you know, your fame, your fortune, your money is not going to get you through your life. Your happiness is based on your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. And that message was loud and clear at America Fest.
Wonderful. I have to ask you this because it was all over the news. There seemed to be some tension between a couple of the speakers, and it became quite evident. And the fallout from that is kind of a mystery to me. What did you witness between Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson?
I can't be 100% honest with you about everything because I don't want to get sued. So the bottom line is there is a big faction of people who believe that Tucker Carlson is bought, sold, and paid for. But there's a big faction of people who think that Ben Shapiro is bought, sold, and paid for. And so I don't want to get into the specifics of it. Everyone has to make their own decision. But then Megyn Kelly got into it. And then there's going to be some issues with Steve Bannon. So each speaker obviously has some issues that everyone has to make their own decisions on. And that's where we really need to just drop all of the drama and say, listen, we've all made mistakes in the past and we've all given our lives to Jesus Christ. And it's time that we be unified. That's why the Democrats always win. The Democrats are unified. We Republicans, we Christians need to be unified because we're going into 2026 and unity is the only way that we can really win in the mighty name of Jesus, is to be unified and forgive each other.
Is Turning Point I know there was a lot of requests for chapters after Charlie Kirk's assassination. There were tens of thousands of requests. And are they being actually accomplished, or how is that being handled? Do you know?
I talked to a lot of Turning Point employees, and yes, they are trying to make it happen. But honestly, they're at a point where they just want to stay on the college campuses. They don't want to expand too big right now. They want to keep what they have and make it really rock solid. And so, if there is a young person who wants to have a Turning Point chapter, you better start it now in 2026, because it's going to be really, really specific now. They're going to have, specific rules, specific requirements. Of course, they want to expand on campuses across America. But I think that there is a point where Turning Point has to take what they have, because really they're the most successful organization. They don't really want to go overseas right now. That's what I'm getting. They really want to keep it in the United States of America right now. At this point now, I'm not a spokesperson, so I can't answer all those questions, but they're getting tons of requests to go overseas. And I know for a fact they're not ready to really delve into that. They really want to keep America strong, America first.
Okay, so the primary base of this organization obviously is faith in Christ, which then produces a conservative worldview, if not hopefully a biblical worldview. I mean, that's the foundation of it, isn't it?
100%. And what the Bible says, and your dedication to being of service to the 10 Commandments, your dedication to being of service to the goodness in the world, to being nonviolent, to being a productive member of society. And honestly, that's what America was founded on. Our founding fathers founded America, and we have to be honest about this, Perry. Our founding fathers founded America on Christian morals, values, and ethics. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have to focus on in 2026.
Yeah.
America first. What our founding fathers wanted.
Good stuff. One quick question before I let you go. You're writing a book on journalism in the digital age. AI's upon us. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can be easily led astray. Where are you going with this book? What are you trying to say here?
I mean, this book is getting more and more important, because right now I'm getting crank phone calls from President Trump and Elon Musk. AI is starting. I'm getting crazy videos about myself that are not real all over the internet. AI is starting, and there's not much regulation on it. So we have a very big problem. And I always say it's so important. It's so important for the 20-year-olds to realize that they have to go back to what our founding fathers wanted for America. They have to go back to basic morals, values, ethics. I say get out of the big cities. I say make sure you have a piece of land where you can grow your own food, where you can have a water source. I say let's get back to the basics of what our beloved United States of America was founded on. And I want everyone watching this in the next generation to have as many children as they can in the United States of America, because we're at zero population growth, Perry, in America. And we need to have children. We need to end the abortion crisis.
Right.
We need to go back to our Christian morals, values, and ethics.
Good stuff. Can we get you back, Corinne?
Anytime. God bless you.
Yeah, let me say, go to her website, sat123.com. There's a picture of the landing page, sat123.com, and check it out. Corinne, you're a delight. Thank you. You're an inspiration. We'll get you back soon. Thank you.
Yes, God bless you. And I just wanted to tell you my tree is there because we're trying to get Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. to convert to Christianity. So pray for us and pray for Secretary Kennedy.
Thank you.
He's got the whole world in his hands, and he knows the plans for us. Above and beyond we could ask or imagine, his grace is more than enough. It's in his hands. It's in his hands. He's got
walk where they walked.
If we were here about 2,000 years ago, we might have seen the Magi come by.
Stand where they stood.
Today it's the Tower of David Museum, but when the wise men came, it was the palace of King Herod.
CBN's Chris Mitchell takes you in the footsteps of the Magi.
They studied the heavens and found something miraculous.
Watch the 700 Club Wednesday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Well, welcome back, and I'm delighted to have with me the producer, the executive producer of Focus Today, Paulina Lizer, is with me. And I've asked her to come on the show today. As you know, we're in the middle of our year-end appeal. We're about 50% there,
which is great,
for our goal. Yeah. We're happy about that. You know, it's just a little nervous, but you know, we'll get through there. But I wanted you to come on today because I get so many comments about the guests you get me to interview. And they said, where do you get those people? And I said, Paulina does. How does she do it? I don't know. She just charms them into coming on the air. And I just wanted people to know that how much I appreciate you, but the involvement you have in getting these guests. And I think it was late November, which isn't too long ago, I passed the 21,000 mark.
Wow.
21,000 interviews in 43 years.
Yeah. You know, just looking at the folder of all the guests we've had on Focus Today, and you've started interviewing people decades ago, so right. That count started earlier. But around 2012, we started Focus Today. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea was to create some kind of a forum, a place where we can we can talk to people, we can have in-depth conversations, and have a variety of guests. So I never know what's going to be on the show. You don't really know what's going to be on the show either. Right. And so that was the idea, and we're still working on it. We're getting new guests. More and more people want to be on the Dove. And the beauty of it is that God uses all these interviews to speak to people. And, you know, just like any other marketplace of ideas, it's different. We don't always agree with our guests. I don't agree with most of the guests I schedule, but they are experts, they are well-researched people, they're interesting, and you know, I challenge those who listen or watch us, if you don't agree, go and study, yeah. go deeper in your Bible, talk to your pastor or your priest, you know, watch more than just headlines on Instagram, because in our day and age, we have so many voices of authority that are not really an authority. Right. And so we need to be a little more responsible for the information we take in and the information we put out. So Focus Today hopefully challenges you to think about these things and to go deeper into your beliefs.
Well, very well said. And we're at that time of the year where we're asking you to prayerfully consider supporting the Dove. This is the time of the year where we, you know, I told Peggy last night, I said I read 4 contracts today, and I have like 6 more on my desk to read today. Mm-hmm. You know, and so what they are, the contracts where we have to renew tower leases and things like that. So we have a year-end goal of $223,000. Let me say, every penny of that goes to just the operations of what's going on here, technically, about tower leases and equipment that is needed. And yesterday we crossed the 50% mark, so we're halfway there, and we're grateful for that. But I think Focus Today is another thing that I wanted to highlight today, because this program is being recognized across the country now. In fact, one day a week, is it one or two? One day a week, it's on satellite on the NRB.
Yeah.
Channel.
It's amazing how God has been using it. And you know, as I was getting ready for the show, I've been thinking about what I'm going to say, how profound I'm going to be. Father Seraphim came to mind, late Father Seraphim Cardoza, who was building a church out in Rogue River and built a beautiful temple.
Yeah.
But I remember his internal struggle, because on one side he knew that he needs to trust God, that God will provide and he's going to build. But on the other side, he needed help. And it was always that battle where you know God is going to help, but you also have to go and ask people. And in a way, that was a blessing to the community to be part of that ministry. And Father, in his humility, in his obedience, he went out, he asked for help, and people came. And the same thing here, for as long as I remember, we've had to ask for money, and it's always uncomfortable. And it always is that internal struggle. How do we do it? Because we know it's going to be okay. And yet we need to go out there and ask. And I think it is a blessing for people, because they get to be part of this ministry. And it's a beautiful thing.
Well, it is. And it is tough to ask. I mean, I remember it's probably been 10, 12, 15 years ago where we used to do these 3-day share-a-thons and everything. And I remember the Lord speaking to me one day, and I don't hear audible voices, but you know when the Lord's trying to tell you something. You just sense it in all your senses and in your spirit, that I was not to do that anymore and to trust him. And we haven't held one in 12 years, 15 years, I think it's been that long. And we just put the need out there and trust the Lord. But to your point is, you struggle with the reality of the need, and then you struggle with the faith part of it. Do you really believe what you believe? And I can say this: if you come in and see the Dove, all of this is a result of faith. And the check that I've had in my spirit over the last month or so is, it's not about what we've built here. These are just tools. It's not about this big screen behind us, or those cameras, or the new equipment we put in the control. Those are just tools and things. And I'm being checked. Again, I feel this quite often, and you know that because I talked to you about it. Is the message of the Dove pure? Is it trustworthy? You know, and I really struggle with that, because in today's world, there's so many pulls to go this way, say that, have this person on. You know me well enough to know that who I will and will not interview.
Right, there are guardrails.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do go and we interview people that we don't always see eye to eye.
Right.
But the audience may benefit from that conversations, and so we do it. I want to add to the point you made, because this is a great point about, it's not about tools, it's not about towers, equipment, salaries, utility bills. All that has to be paid, but it's about so much more. You know, we have these beautiful Christmas trees here, and many of our audience members have Christmas trees in their homes, and we're going to be celebrating Christ's birth tomorrow, glorifying him. But there will be many parents out there crying themselves to sleep because they lost a child this year. There are going to be people who've maybe found a terminal diagnosis right before Christmas, and they know this is their last one. And so our hope is that God will reach them, and he'll give them hope, and he'll give them one more day, just a little more air to breathe so they can make it through a day. And we don't know how he does it, through a friend, a neighbor, a church, and the Dove. The Dove is always there too. And Michael talked about it yesterday. We don't know how these miracles happen, but tomorrow someone is going to turn on the Dove, and they're going to get that one glimmer of hope. And I get emotional about it, because we get those letters all the time.
Well, that's
and they're going to keep going. And we don't know what's going on. Even in the most beautiful homes, there's so much darkness and so much pain. And God uses the Dove. And that's what it's about. That's why you give. That's how you can be part of this ministry.
You said it, that's beautiful. Because I've often said the miracle that takes place at the Dove is God matches the content of a program or a song or something, both radio, TV, or even in the devotional, with that person's need. Now, they'll say, I just happened to tune in, what a coincidence. Well, we don't believe in coincidence. Those are divine appointments. I say a coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. But he'll match that contact. That's the miracle that constantly takes place. And that underscores the scripture that the Lord gave us, or gave me quite a few years ago, and it's found in Romans 10:20. It says this, I was found by those who were not seeking me, and I manifested my love to those who didn't even ask. In other words, they tune in. They're not even looking for God. They find him. And in the midst of that moment, he manifests their love to them. That's the mission of the Dove. We're out there on all these media platforms for that one moment where somebody happens to tune in or connect at that moment. Mm-hmm. That's the miracle. And we need your help to do that. The phone number is there on the screen. You can call anytime, 541-776-5368. Or online there at theDove.us, and that's safe and secure. So we're about 50% of our goal, and we're going to trust the Lord for that. What's ahead for the Dove is not bigness, it's impact.
Yeah. And
that's what it is. We have opportunity to go on other stations. We have opportunity. We have to improve some equipment around here. We have to move some things around. It's not about that. Those are the tools to provide the impact.
And you know, one of the things we've always tried to do is stand beside the ministries here locally. And there are so many of them you can be part of, where you donate a turkey or help a homeless person or a young mother. Mm-hmm. But then maybe you didn't get to do it this year. Maybe just time went by and here it is, it's Christmas and you want to bless someone. Well, again, the Dove is a kind of ministry where you can be part of it. Yes, you're not going to see the impact most likely. You're not going to know who you help impact, but there will be one because that's the way God has worked in this ministry for decades. Mm-hmm. So I want to encourage you, if you've been thinking about blessing someone this Christmas, to partner with us, because that's how you can be part of an amazing way God touches people and again gives them hope and gives them healing and whatever else they need in their lives. So
all right, the phone number is 541-776-5368, and then the website, which is safe and secure, at theDove.us, and you can go online with that. We got letters yesterday from Boise, we got letters from San Francisco, we got letters from Arizona, we got letters from North Carolina. I got one from New York. We don't know where the Dove's going. We're online. We're on Roku. We're on Apple. We're on all these television and radio stations outlets. I don't know where it's going anymore. Yeah. But God makes that match all the time.
And I hope people, when they reach to us, I hope that they will let us know what they like, what they don't like, because that helps us improve. And if you're watching Focus today, if you're one of the fans of the show, or if you can't stand it, I challenge you.
Yeah, let us know.
Be part of it. And when you do give, when you show us your support, let us know the programs, the guests you like, some things you'd like us to improve, because we love to hear from our audience. And this is going to be a wonderful year. I believe it, and I pray that God will bless us and bless you. And so I want to challenge my audience, my Focus Today audience, to call and be part of our ministry, because we are doing it all together.
All right. 541-776-5368 or online at theDove.us. One quick question. Mm-hmm. What is your traditions for today? You'll go to church tonight.
Yeah, we have an evening service, beautiful 3-hour service.
3 hours.
You can come for 20 minutes, you can come for 3 hours, but you'll definitely be blessed afterwards. And then we have a liturgy in the morning and the feast.
And your favorite food?
Anything that has everything we didn't eat, because we fasted. Prior to Nativity, we fast. We don't eat certain foods, but really it's not about food, it's about Christ and fellowship.
All right.
So Christ is born, everyone.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities